All right, we are live. We're just waiting for a couple people to get in, and then we'll get started. And I just hate people that are late. It's just me. I'm just like, I'm one of those people where you gotta be here on time, ready to go. So I'm like, kind of losing my mind right now a little bit.
Yeah, I can't say much, man, because the only thing we've ever been on time for is being late, bro.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like I had my dinner an hour ago. I got my stuff set up. Like I was all prepared, and then nothing. Nothing at all.
You got half of us. Shout out to Byshir and everybody else that's coming through. It looks like, according to the Twitter chat, it looks like they're going to get up in here anytime soon. So shout out to Mitch for having us on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Appreciate you, Mitch. What's good? Eagles Uncensored, Devin, Big Play Slay. What's good, guys?
Yeah, what's good, everyone? So, yeah, it is what it is. After what happened last night, I just need something. I need a break.
Yeah, rough game.
Not just that, the game didn't mean anything. It's Embiid. He's doubtful now. He's not playing.
Yeah, I think we're gonna close out though tomorrow night without Embiid. Just need him for the future.
Yeah. If we win Wednesday, I don't think we'll play again till next Monday.
He'll have his time to rest.
Yeah. All right. So with the first one, so let's just get started or just wait?
Let's go ahead and get started, man.
Let's get started. We're already live now. We got people watching.
That's true. Facts. So KJ Wright, what is everyone's thoughts on them? Because when I got news, I was like, okay. I mean, could it help us right away, or is it just like a no for the competition? Sirianni. Whatever I want to say.
You want to go, Gabe?
First on that one? Yeah, you can go first, Mike. It's good.
My take is this: whenever you get a veteran who's over 30, I gotta just weigh the good with the bad, and mainly the good is the price, and the bad is how long we're gonna sign him for. This is not a long-term fix, but again, when you have such a young group of linebackers, I mean, the positional coach is going to get them coached up right, but it's always good to have that vet in the room. And now we can say Eric Wilson's been in the league for a couple years, but he's really only getting his first year of action due to the injuries that the Minnesota Vikings suffered. So you got a guy like BG and Fletch to mold any and every D-line. We just added Kerrigan. That's another veteran who's been around the block. You got Big Play Slay to mold every single corner, whether we love the random guys we signed, the Josiah Scotts and the Meadows. I forgot his first name. You got guys like that, but the linebacker position is the one position where it's like, positional coach, Jonathan Gannon, they don't got a player in their ear that really knows and's been around the block. So if you can match the money, I'm always down to add at linebacker, especially a position that we failed to bring in veteran talent. The best and last linebacker we had, Nigel Bradham, but he was only solid for a couple years. So that is something you might get out of a KJ Wright, 1 or 2 years of solidarity, maybe one. But again, I don't think he's equipped to play the Mike anymore. He's more of on one of the other sides. So it's a toss-up. Like I said, it's really about money. If he's going to take a prove-it deal, I mean, we've been giving out prove-it deals all through this offseason, and it's kind of all we can afford. So, again, that's where it comes into me to see the money.
Yeah. What is up?
Those are good points, man. Good points, Mike. I mean, to me, when I look at KJ Wright, it's a little interesting because he's coming from more of a zone-type system. So you don't get KJ Wright's not really a man coverage guy, although he's a top 12 coverage linebacker in general. A little bit more of a zone guy, but he's athletic. I think that's what the appeal is to KJ Wright. He's an athletic, linebacker. He's another one of these coverage guys that, could make some sense for the organization. I think that's why they like him. But I mean, I look at it now, Mike, he's got a 50.7 grading in man coverage, which was 129th in the league. So this is not a man coverage guy. I want to look up real quick. Let's see his run defense, just because we know that what we're dealing with here is a little bit of incomplete play at the linebacker position, right? We don't really have that all around guy. I mean, that's my biggest criticism of the linebackers is that, we got guys that can cover, we got guys that can tackle, but we don't got guys that can kind of do both. And to me, that's that's kind of the scary part is that, I mean, look, sometimes guys improve and that's what we'll be banking on, but you just, I mean, you never know, man. Like it's not something I would bet my own money on. You know what I mean? Like it's not, that's always a tough proposition. But yeah, KJ Wright, he ranked pretty well, guys. I mean, mind you, these grades are subjective as crap, guys, but 67 overall grade as a run defender from the linebacker position, which ranked him top 30. Definitely, yeah, I mean, that's decent. I still think that you look at guys like Sean Bradley. I think Sean Bradley is a guy that's probably a little bit better of a run defender. TJ Edwards is probably a better run defender than KJ Wright is. But that's just kind of my take on it, right? It's a veteran guy. He's a guy that's probably not going to cost you much. He's a good coverage linebacker. He's at least adequate in run defense. He's not horrible in run defense. He's not a complete liability. But, I wonder if you're still not really having to keep rolling guys into certain packages.
Mm-hmm. All right. Alkabeer, welcome aboard. How you doing, man? I was in your live stream a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, just for 30 minutes, quick live stream.
It is what it is. I know I asked you this last night, but KJ Wright, your opinions on him?
A veteran, I believe that could come into our system. I think he'll fit well. I think his role should be to help out like the young guys like a Davion Taylor or Sean Bradley. That should really be his role. I think he could still be productive on the field, but KJ Wright will be a good pickup as long as he don't cost too much, because I still want a cornerback too, just in case we gotta overpay Steven Nelson. But yeah, as long as he don't cost too much.
Yeah. All right. Byshir, how's it going, dude?
Yo, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Yo, you gotta do me one favor. You gotta do me one favor. You gotta do that intro, man. Hit us with that intro, bro.
Yo. It's your boy Byshir, Randall back at it again. And you grows, you know when knows you grow. Listen, man, you want to chill, want to vibe, be sure to hit that subscribe. There'll be no altercation if you punch that notification, man. I got you. Right there you go.
There it is. There it is. One of my favorite intros in the whole YouTube. There it is. So, Byshir, your opinions on KJ Wright?
Oh, man, I mean, I actually touched on this, when we had our little, live stream too. I think KJ Wright could be a problem. You know what I'm saying? But the only reason why I wouldn't touch KJ Wright is because I don't want to, hinder the guys like Alex Singleton or Sean Bradley, who actually are dogs. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something that the Eagles tend to do a lot, is when we bring in a lot of veterans and they get majority of the snaps, so we don't actually let a lot of these young guys grow. I don't want that for Sean Bradley or Davion Taylor or even Alex Singleton or the newly acquired Eric Wilson, to come in and not get snaps because of KJ Wright. But if we could grit him, I definitely would grab him.
Now, would you guys see him like in the first rotation, like on the field in the lineup right away, or do you see him like later on in the rotation if we did get him?
Nah, you go get this guy, you're playing him, and then you're hoping to feel out these young guys and see who can come up big throughout the season. Again, this is football. Nobody's guaranteed to play 17 games. And if you put that Eagles green on, something happens to you. So hopefully that's done with, just ongoing blue tent sightings. But like Byshir said, man, I had both Sean Bradley and Davion Taylor on the channel. And, of course, they're not going to tell me they stink at football. But, you can feel the excitement for year two. And these guys are guys who don't want to make excuses, but they couldn't leave out how difficult was for them. A guy like Davion Taylor who was behind the eight ball and just all 22's game tape, knowing exactly what to do in different packages because he rushed on the outside a lot in Colorado. And then you got a guy like Sean Bradley, who was a 6th-round pick out of Temple, picking up the speed. These guys like to be hands-on. Everything was virtual. So, rookie season for guys who are behind the eight ball or later round picks is already difficult, making the transition from college to the NFL. Now you throw in COVID-19, and again, everybody dealt with it, but you can see big steps for a lot of younger players throughout the whole league just because of we're actually getting back to some normalcy. So these guys are fast. These guys are energetic. Sean Bradley was telling me he could beat Davion Taylor in a race. I was like, I don't know about that. And hungry. The down part is if the Eagles offense is as good as you think, or as good as we're projected, maybe Jalen Hurts takes the next step early. Devontae Smith is what he's cracked up to be. I hate that picture that's floating around on Twitter. They drew some stick fingers on him, man. Hey, man, it was funny. I'll share it to you guys, but then you're going to want your linebackers and your defense, the middle of that defense, to keep up. And so that's where you weigh, is it worth going to get the vet? Because it's really like, we're going to know a lot about this team come the first quarter. Now, again, you got to give the Jalen Hurts and these guys time to get acclimated. I'm not going to be pressing the panic button if we start out 1-3. However, most of Philadelphia is going to be upset. They're going to be calling for people's head. But this is I like Sirianni. He talks a good talk, Jonathan Gannon, with the X and O's. But there's a difference, putting the game plan together and then going out and execute it. You get cold feet. You call plays in the wrong sequence. You mess up. You freeze up a little bit. You're not good with your timeouts. Mismanage the clock. So there's going to be growing pains. I just want to see the trajectory go up, and I want to see constant growth from a lot of these young guys, because there's a lot. And that's why the mix of veterans with such a young team, and we keep talking about the young players, the coaching staff is going to learn a thing or two from a Kerrigan, from a Fletcher Cox. So I just think that you got to be patient with this team, and we're going to figure out where the things go by the first quarter of the season.
It's funny, Mike, is when you sit in these preseason, right, these moments before the season really gets going, right? Like, we're all kind of like, I agree with you, Mike. Like, I'm a little hesitant on signing KJ Wright, because the way I would envision him is he's probably be your Will, Eric Wilson will probably be your Mike, and then if we're going to play a 43, your Sam's probably Kerrigan. Wind up with somebody kind of coming in there. So, I mean, to me, that's a little concerning to me, because now you're burying guys that we need to see play. Unless KJ Wright and Eric Wilson are going to stick around for a 3 to 4 year window. And who knows? You never really know that type of thing. They're certainly not going to get that kind of contract right off the jump. So, I mean, like, now we're wondering, like, can Davion Taylor even make this roster?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what happens with TJ Edwards? Because, unless you got like a goal line package or something like that, and TJ Edwards can play a lot of special teams, like, I think his spot would be in peril, to be quite honest. Alex Singleton, I mean, a guy that I think can play outside. I think he could play the mic a little, but more of an outside guy himself. I mean, I just wonder, man, like, I like these guys like Kerrigan, and these dudes are good. KJ Wright, they're good football players, but it is kind of tough when you're trying to evaluate the team, because it does make me feel like maybe they took a look at the film and they weren't exactly happy with what they saw.
Mm-hmm.
Even with Jannard Avery, right? He's still on the roster too. So if you add KJ Wright, it would be a bunch of veterans again. The young guys won't get any shine, especially if we consider ourselves rebuilding. So I get the point of not wanting KJ Wright at the same time too, because you want the young guys to develop, especially if they have a future.
Yeah, or know if they can be developed. That's the thing too. We got to know when we can move on from these guys. We can't have a guy in contract year and now it's like do or die, or we got to make that signing off of what we think can happen, potential. So it's hard to say, because you look at your team and you want to come into the season competitive. You see the NFC East, not that great. Now all the teams got better, but this was a crap division. So you look at it like we could come take it, but we can't sacrifice the growth of this team or just the figuring out who can make the team going forward, because you got so many guys who are like, are these guys backups? Are these guys starters? We'll never know. And we're going to have to take our lumps finding out.
It's a tough situation.
I'm not hindering no more guys after I seen LJ Fort leave and then come be like one of the best linebackers in the league, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we seen how guys will, like veterans come here and we will hinder these young guys. And I don't want to, hinder guys like Sean Bradley, who actually in the Steelers game had a goal line stop, tackle for a loss. I don't know if he had a forced fumble, but I know he had a tackle and stuff like that. He actually had pretty good tape on him that Steelers game. And we come back the next week, and I don't think he got one snap. So it's time for us to give these young guys a shot. I seen Sean Bradley play in person. He can ball. I actually seen him play Temple when they was at the link. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sean Bradley, he jumped off your screen, man. And I think if you're gonna give somebody a chance, definitely give him a chance. I forgot about TJ Edwards until y'all brought him up. So it's like I can understand the whole point of not getting KJ Wright, but if it is a time when you need a veteran presence, because think about it, our linebacker room is really relatively young. our linebacker coach is young. So and I thought that was a problem hiring a young linebacker coach, because I think sometimes players tend to lean more, like familiar, because we're in age and stuff like that, instead of having veterans or an older coach who can, tell these young guys, no, you do this, you do that. So if KJ Wright could come in here and be a veteran and not, accumulate a bunch of snaps, fine. But if he wants, to be the main focal point of the defense, then that's a no-no.
All right, sounds good. And actually, how old is our linebacker coach? I forget.
27, I believe.
In his 20s?
26.
He's like 27 or so.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's so young. He's like their age. It's that, a little older.
Now, free agency, right? Now we need a cornerback. So should we go after a guy like Steven Nelson, or I forget the other guy, but or should we wait for next year's draft, because that cornerback class is stacked?
Yeah.
Like, should we wait and go for like a Steven Nelson, or what should we do?
Nobody want to go. I'll go.
I'll go. Go ahead.
I was about to say, I wouldn't mind Steven Nelson as long as we don't overpay, because I feel as though the Giants did that mistake. They overpaid for, I think, Adoree Jackson. I just don't want us to overpay. And if we sign him to a 1-year deal, I'm hearing that 2022 is supposed to have the best cornerbacks in a long time. So why not wait? We got 3 first-round picks, or just develop. I've been big on I can't even think of his name right now. I can't think of his name right now. He our biggest corner on the team, but I would just say develop him for the year. Jaquette, just develop Michael Jaquette for the year. Just develop him for the year. 6'2". I know he got burnt against the Cowboys. He had a tough task from Cardinals, Cowboys. It was tough. Yeah. It was a tough task. I think he did pretty good the first half against D-Hop, but D-Hop, I think he just got mad and went off. But I feel as though we should just develop Michael Jaquette, see what he can do, and maybe Jonathan Gannon could have him right, because Darius Slay even had his worst year under Jim Schwartz. So maybe it's something different. Put him in a different scheme. We'll see.
Me personally, I don't know, man. I'm one of two things, because I see Jonathan Gannon's scheme when he was with the Vikings 2017, and they had really one legitimate corner and Xavier Rhodes, and I think the other second corner was
Trey Waynes.
Trey Waynes. But was Trey Waynes actually like good? Was that his good year? Was he was good in the system, right? Yeah, it was just like a signing. So with the way Gannon going to use these corners and stuff like that, he's going to use a lot of disguises and coverages where I don't think the number 2 cornerback is really needed that majority of the time.
Trey Waynes got paid by the Bengals though, right? Off that Vikings, off the couple years he put tape out for the Vikings. Yeah. Didn't the Bengals pay him?
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Because he was a free agent, I was like,
he didn't play.
Yeah, I mean, they overpaid big time.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I'll wait, but I know that the cornerback from LSU. Stingley or something like that. Stingery or some Derek Stingley, something like that. The brother could ball, so I definitely would want him.
Yeah, real quick. My whole take is this. Like, look, I'm gonna put a lot of emphasis. I'm gonna put a lot of optimism in Jonathan Gannon with whatever system he's gonna run. Playing some more cover 2, cover 3. He's gonna give help to these corners. I think Darius Slay being more of a zone corner is gonna be able to put that word back in front of his name, big play, instead of playing the receiver play the ball in the air, because he was just Slay last year. And I think he did pretty good for the majority of his games. He did get cooked by the Devontae Adams, the DK Metcalfs. He got cooked by a couple people, but these were 50-50 balls that he was there on the hip pocket. It's just sometimes the receiver makes a better play, and it's harder to play defensive back in this new era of football, especially when you got Jim Schwartz playing too much single high and no help at all. So you put in help over the top. You got Darius Slay to take the number 1. Maybe he flops. Maybe he follows shadows, whatever you want to call it. I think the Eagles are willing to go into this to this season, knowing that it's a rebuild / retool. I know we see the Devontae Smith, the Jalen Hurts, the upside of Jalen Hurts, the offensive line being as good as it can be if it's healthy. We see the reasons why you can be optimistic, and the Eagles want that to flourish in the 2021 season, but they also want to find out about the young linebackers. They also want to find out about the young corners, because we got the Jaquettes. We now signed 2 more developmental pieces. We got McPherson. We got Avonte Maddox, who we drafted to be in the slot. He has only been able to play there a little bit. He's played safety. He's played CB2. So there's pieces on this team that we need to know going forward, and or to get another contract soon. So I think the Eagles are like this. We put talent on the field. They can somehow disguise some of the young guys. We can find out about the young guys. And who knows, maybe the young guys are better than advertised. With that being said, then the transition's easier. I don't think you want to risk the future. We know what our cap space is going to look like next year. We know what the draft picks look like. And so just saying, okay, Steven Nelson will help us now. But you also got to factor in, like, the Eagles are going to look for the future. Some of our draft picks were built for the future, not just next year. And so, it's not really anymore about what we want, and it's just about the way the Eagles are going. And that's why a guy like Zach Ertz most likely is not going to be a part of our future. Not because he's not good right here and right now, but we're not looking exactly for the right here and right now. Now you can say, well, why did we sign Kerrigan too? I think we're trying to keep a mixture of both. Like, listen, Philadelphia is a big market. Like, we are a team that don't want to go through the New York Giants rebuild, the Cleveland Browns rebuild, the Miami Dolphins rebuild, where they were bad for so long before they got some type of relevant. Giants, look, I don't like them, but they look like they're going to be as best as they've been since the good Eli Manning days. I'm not saying they're going to be good, but it took them that long to do that. The Eagles are trying to retool and still give you 500 or above seasons. We're not trying to be in the top 10 picking multiple years. And so you got to balance that. It's hard as a fan and a team.
I mean, Mike, my stance when it comes to the corner position. I said, look, I like Steven Nelson. I do. It's all about the value of the contract to me. Like, if you're going to try to pay Steven Nelson like he's a number 1 cornerback, I think it's a mistake. I think Steven Nelson is a top of the line number 2 corner in a system. That puts him in a really difficult position of the valuation and what his agent and he thinks he's worth versus organizations. I think it's a guy you just kind of wait it out. You see if anyone's going to bite on that kind of money. You wait it out into camp. I mean, if the guy wants to play football, eventually he's going to have to sign with a team that's willing to give him a chance to actually take starting reps, which the Eagles definitely have that to offer. When I look internally on the roster, I mean, I don't know what the Eagles plan to do with McPherson. McPherson, when he speaks, says that he is an outside corner. Internally, it seems like some people in the organization view him as a corner with multiple ability in terms of the alignment. Where he can play slot and outside, so they see him a little bit more as a movement piece. He's not the tallest. He's not the most rangiest corner in terms of his length and being able to get in and break up passes. He's not a 33-inch, 32-inch, arm reach kind of corner. Michael Jaquette is a guy that, I ran the film on this guy as an undrafted rookie free agent, and I made that video that exploded. And man, did people have fun with that video, because man, they didn't get what I was saying. I said Michael Jaquette had an opportunity to stick around on the practice squad and maybe crack into the lineup later on in the season, which I hit the nail on the head. I didn't predict he'd be like taking the starting reps at outside corner in his rookie season, in a COVID season on top of that. Like, I didn't see that coming. Like, that was kind of like, whoa. But when I ran the film on Michael Jaquette, what I saw was a guy that was very versatile. He played a little safety. He played a little nickel. He played outside mostly. Tall kid. He's like 6'1"-ish, just under 6'2". Big, solid frame, about a 200-pound guy. He's got decent foot speed. I think his pro day clocked him at 4.42, so I'm going to say that's about 4.45, 4.47 in reality, which is adequate. Not great, it's adequate speed for the outside. Kid's got like 33-inch, reach in his arms. Like, he's the type of guy you envision when you say a Gannon cornerback. His technique's flawed, guys. I mean, this is a kid that came out of University of Louisiana Lafayette, and he was a convert to corner. So, I mean, this is a kid who's still learning how to play the game, but there's clearly some underlying talent to the young man. Like, I picked up on it really quickly from watching his film. Like, holy crap, this kid's worth sticking around and trying to develop. Do I want him as your number 2 corner? Do I want him as your number 3 corner? No, I really don't. I think that's a mistake. That's a guy you put down deep in your roster, your 4th, your 5th corner. He's a special teams guy. He's a guy you build up over time. Like he's not there yet. I think he still needs a lot of technique work. In terms of the young guys on the free agent market, guys, Garyon Conley has a lot of interest to me. He's a kid that had some good reps against pretty good receivers in the league. I mean, he's been injured. That's the knock on him, but he's still young, and he's a good size corner with, good reach for a corner. I mean, he's a guy that can get in there and fight and play boundary side for you. And the other guy that gives me this is a guy I would be interested in a value signing is Artie Burns. Artie Burns, another guy, they list him at about 6 foot, but he's really just under 6 foot. Another guy's got almost 33-inch, arm length. I mean, he's one of these kind of tall, lengthy, rangy kind of corners that can get in there. He can fight. But both of those dudes have been injured. But those are the guys I would take a chance on, and then try to get a guy in here that has the attributes, that has at least some experience lining up against NFL corners. And then I take my chances in the 2022 NFL draft with, drafting a guy or two to come in here with McPherson. And that's the thing is Darius Slay's not going to be around forever. So we could sign a Richard Sherman. We can sign a Drake Kirkpatrick. We can sign those veteran guys, DJ Hayden. But those guys probably aren't going to be here 2 or 3 years from now. So, I don't know how much value that gives you. I would go after the younger guys and try to develop somebody, get a steal from somewhere, personally.
Wouldn't Sherman want a lot of money, though? Wouldn't Sherman be, above the cap or something? Wouldn't he want a lot?
I doubt it.
No?
Yeah,
I doubt it.
Well,
nobody's really knocking down that door.
Yeah, and the longer anybody sits, now see, June 1st is when everybody gets their second wind. Other teams, including the Eagles, get some, underlying money. There's moves that can be made that can get them more money. This is when you're going to see the Julio Jones trade come in handy. Not to the Eagles, I'm saying to somebody else. And so here it is, but every week that goes by, every day that goes by, you put that car out for sale for $3,000. After 2 months sitting there, you go back and change it to $2,500. It's still sitting there. Now you're going down to $2,000. You know what I mean? No one's buying your car. You want to sell it though. You don't need it no more. You don't want it no more. So you just wait and see. And I think the Eagles are going to play it as smart as they can. They know this season is a in-betweener. They'll feel just as confident with knowing what we're going to try to do in the next couple years with what's on the roster, or if they can get a steal. They found Ryan Kerrigan as a steal for the money, what he can teach, what he can bring to the young guys, and what he will offer Philly. We went out and did it. So we're not afraid to pull veterans in this known rebuild. And even if you're as confident as the top Eagle fan saying, we're going to win, we're going to the playoffs. You can't deny whenever you have a brand new quarterback, a brand new coaching staff, that it's brand new. So, you could be as confident as you want, but we are brand new and we got to see. So I think the Eagles are just trying to see what they can do to help the young guys to grow. And also, again, this is a new coaching staff. Jonathan Gannon seems like he got it figured out, but he's never been the dude to call the defense. Nick Sirianni, he game planned with Frank Wright, and he knows how to put people in position. But he's never been the dude to call the plays, and you get choked up. You know what I mean? Who knows? So this is all wait and see, and I think the Eagles are doing it the right way. They're getting as many high-character veterans in with these young guys as they can that money can afford, and we're hoping for the best. We want Jalen Hurts to take the bull by the horn, however that saying goes, because, listen, 3 first-round picks invested in skill players makes this team grow a lot quicker than 3 first-round picks being used to replace your quarterback. And also, we're talking about the 40 to 50 million possible in cap space. That will be used up on the replacing quarterback if we do go veteran, the Russell Wilsons, the Deshaun Watsons, and stuff like that. So you want to invest in this Eagle team. We just got to make sure this Eagle team is on the right track.
So, Mike, let me ask you a question, and also my guy Alkabeer and Byshir. You too, Mitch. My bad, man. So,
it's all good.
My bad, man. You're in the pilot chair. I forgot you, man. When you look at Josiah Scott, who's a little guy, he's a Devontae Maddox type, right? He's coming in here to play outside corner, and he's a really good short zone corner. What does that tell you about the coverage scheme?
It's gonna be a lot.
It's gonna be more help.
Or a lot of zone, more than likely. It's probably gonna be a lot of zone. He reminded me of Brandon Boykin a little bit. You know, the old corner we had. He reminded me of him a little bit. Fast, quick, kind of a ball hawk a bit. But I mean, that just let me know that we probably gonna play a lot of zone. It's maybe something to getting all these guys that's 5'10", 5'9". It has to be something to it. Maybe Jonathan Gannon like those type of guys. I don't know. Yeah, right. That's I don't know.
I don't know why he would come to play outside corner. I mean, if you want to make him be a camp battle for the slot position, I think that'll probably be the best scenario for him, considering the fact that you say he's fast, he's quick, he got a nice vertical. I think the dude know how to jump very high and high point the ball. Something that Ronald Darby couldn't do for a long time. So it's like it's like if you want to come in here and bring him to battle out for the slot position, fine. But I don't know about outside. I don't really think that would be the best interest in the team. That's me personally.
Yeah. Stole the words right out of my mouth.
Well, let me ask you guys a question since we're right. You know what I'm saying? See, because the Raiders signed Rasul Douglas, you know what I'm saying? And Rasul Douglas, we know 6'2", like big hands, lengthy and stuff like that. Say if hypothetically he could cut during training camp or not training camp or during the camp and all that stuff, he become available. Would you want Rasul Douglas to come back playing in this system? Because now he might play safety, which is something that we think he might thrive in. Would you want Rasul Douglas to come back?
I mean, listen, let me just say this. If Rasul Douglas was on the team right now, I think he'd be really a first candidate to get the starting outside cornerback spot.
Right.
Number two.
Right.
CB number 2, yeah. And here's the reason why I won't put him at safety. It's because, listen, he has more experience than the Anthony Harris, the Kevon Wallaces, and the Ronnie McLeods. And I'm not saying we're loaded there, but that's a position that if we stay healthy, I think we'll be somewhat comfortable with. But here's the thing. His problem has always been speedy receivers being left on Forbidden Island by Jim Schwartz. So you get that cover 2, cover 3 mentality. He's going to be playing a lot more press. If he gets beat over the top, you have help. You're playing quarters coverage a little more. You're doing different things. You got guys back there to help him on the back end, and so he's not susceptible to the home run hitter where he got beat. He's always been a good cover corner inside the 10-yard line in the red zone. So all that stuff enhances in a cover 3 system, especially if Jonathan Gannon is going to play more zone and stuff like that. So you just never wanted him to be matched up with a Stephon Diggs one-on-one with no safety over the top. You already knew what was going to happen. Just run straight. You can't keep up. So again, and that's the sad part. If Rasul Douglas is on our squad, to me, he got to be the one starting CB2 over everybody. And the thing is, he's not even on our squad, and he's not that great of a corner. But that just shows how bad CB2 is at this point.
Yo, Desert Eagle, what's up, my guy?
Gentlemen, how's it going? Sorry I'm late. Just got off of work.
You're good, man. You're good. Got to make that bread. I get what you're saying.
Oh, for sure. How's everybody doing, though? How's everybody doing?
Chilling, what's up?
Hey, man, Sixers lost, so.
Don't get me started. Just don't get me
That
started.
sucks.
Yeah, that did suck.
I'm a Lakers fan, so
triple double right now. Apparently,
Hey, man. I hope they lose.
I ain't losing.
they're not. Nah. So, Byshir, what was your question again? Can you repeat it?
Oh, I said, if Rasul Douglas get cut during camp and he become on the market, would you sign him back to play in this system under Gannon?
We need a corner on the other side of the band, so we can't say no. I mean, do I think? I mean,
People talk really.
he will probably be front runner. I mean, compared to him, Zach McPherson, and other corners that we signed, he'll probably be leading. I don't think he'd be better than Vontae Maddox, but other than that, in the end, I mean, it'd probably just be fighting for a backup at this point. We still need someone to play on the other side of Darius Slay. I don't think Rasul Douglas will be that guy though. He's just not fast enough in my opinion. He's really not fast enough.
That's what Mike said.
Yeah, he's really not fast enough.
I'm a little biased when it comes to Rasul Douglas. He's from the area I'm from, so it's like I want him to win each and every time. So
Wrong, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I wanted him to actually start over Avonte Maddox. I think he probably proved me right. I kept saying we shouldn't have cut him. He should have been CB2.
Yeah, that's that same thing.
We seen what he was about when he was CB2. It was him on one side and Sidney Jones on the other, and it was
That would just.
Man, he was good he was okay with the Panthers though. That's why I think it's just Jim Schwartz's game.
Yeah, he had his
It
best.
has
It's
to be.
understandable, but they didn't have an Adam Thielen or Stephon Diggs. You know, he wasn't going against them.
He was going against
Yeah.
Julio though.
Who?
In that
Well,
And Ridley.
Yeah, he was. Well, not 1-on-1, but they faced Julio twice. So you gotta account that for something.
Jalen Mills
Two
will probably
times
stand
out
up
of how
better
many?
against Julio.
You
But-
faced him twice.
Twice throughout the whole game, or I mean, are we talking about twice throughout the whole game?
No,
I mean,
the whole year.
I want somebody. Excuse me. I want somebody that's going to stand up to him like the entire game.
Yeah, facts.
You know, and that only guy we got is Darius Slay.
Yeah.
Avonte Maddox, he's not really consistent in my opinion. He's very fast, but he's not competitive enough.
So with their
I'll be honest with you, Mike. The guy I think that they let go out the door, and it happened last offseason. It didn't happen this offseason. That's when he really left. The guy that they left walk out the door that should have never happened was Jalen Mills, and he should have never been switched to safety. They should have run a scheme that was appropriate to Jalen Mills, which is not asking him to carry down the field in a man coverage system, which is it's not his game. If he can't jam you at the line, you're going to get him burnt. I think you put him in a system here where you're playing like a kind of a zone under kind of scheme. I think that Jalen Mills would have been a decent corner. He's not going to be great. He's only going to be at best average, but right now we would kill for average.
Average.
Yeah.
If we can get an average CB2, that would be all I'm asking for. And again, Steven Nelson's the great name out there, but let's best believe if he comes in here, watch his tape, he's not the best guy. But if you're looking at a situation where who's out there, age, and what we're going to ask him to do, if we're asking Steven Nelson to be Darius Slay, heck no. But we're asking him to be the complimentary guy. And again, Jalen Mills, Rasul Douglas, guys who cannot run with the fast wide receivers, guys who get beat on double moves. Well, guess what? If you have safety help, the double moves doesn't hit you as much. You get beat underneath, you got a guy over top. Now, again, the safety might get cooked too. But this is the thing. When you play in a Jim Schwartz system, his system is actually pretty good. He's a good defensive coordinator if he got the right personnel. If Jim Schwartz is coaching a athletic defense where he can spread the wide nine out, linebackers got to hit the gaps, the wide nine gets at the quarterback, he can play a little coverage, his linebackers can drop back in the middle of the defense, which we didn't have last year. Nate Gary's just spinning around. I don't know what he's doing.
Don't get me started.
So here's the thing though. So because of that, you're putting the pressure on the corners. Now, if you got Darrelle Revis and Stephon Gilmore, Jim Schwartz is going to look like a superhero because his scheme's going to work. But this is the thing. He wasn't willing to change. This is all I've ever asked for. It's like, look, you played the first half. You got cooked. You have an undrafted rookie free agent and Michael Jaquette. He got 6 targets. There's 6 catches. It's like $120. Put somebody over the top. And what Jim Schwartz will say, nope, we're going to live or die under this scheme. And then he's going to come in a press conference and say, yeah, I should have never did that. We weren't ready. Well, listen, you knew what you were going to do. And that's why, listen, there were games where we shut Seattle down. There were games where we shut teams down because if these players come to play that day and that scheme is good, but it's high risk, high reward. And we didn't have the guys, the personnel to really continuously execute it. So, again, Jalen Mills, Jalen Mills, Rasul Douglas, they're C- guys, but in the right system, you could prop them up to a C+ B-. In the wrong system, they go from C- to D-. So you know what I'm saying? So you got to help your guys.
Yeah, because I think everybody get it misconstrued. Like when Jalen Mills left and we got Anthony Harris, we're looking at it as that's an upgrade, but that was never his position. Like he was a corner, and what that got converted to a safety. So like you said, had he been here, probably in this system, he probably can flourish. But because he was in Jim Schwartz's system, which is 1-on-1, no safety help, never blitz, nonsense. I like 90s type of, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's going to look bad. So I think Jalen Mills definitely was it was a mistake to let him go. I can understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have signed him to the contract New England signed him to.
That's
but
what
I think
I
the mistake was made.
You're going to give them that money.
No.
Yeah, the mistake was made was the season prior when we only put him on the 1-year deal. When we probably should have locked him up for a 2-year deal or so. You know, said like, hey, look, Jalen, this is what we're thinking. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't going to sign long term with us. I think that was obvious. He wasn't going to sign long term without like getting substantial money like New England gave him. But we probably could have got him for an extra year or an option year or something. Just because, like, I mean, right now we're in some trouble at the corner position.
I mean, he wasn't the only one.
The fact he left just like that, though. Who knows if he wanted to sign that deal? The way he just left just like that.
Yeah, that was the problem. And as much as we wanted him gone, he just left. Like, that was just bad, man. Like
that was, and every time I said about getting Jalen Mills back, the sentence that followed that was on a bargain bin deal because we didn't have the money. And again, once Jim Schwartz left, again, you have to be a good corner to play in his scheme because you're not expecting Ronnie McLeod to be in the middle. Actually, Ronnie McLeod's in the box, and we don't have a safety who can really play that single high, who can fly to the left and right and disguise it right. So you got either Jalen Mills or, and in that case, Darius Slay was holding his own. But like I said, Darius Slay got exposed a little bit in certain games when he went against a true number one, the Devontae Adams, the DK Metcalfs. And that was because, again, you just said Darius Slay can do it. We're not going to help him at all instead of helping him.
If I'm not mistaken, the first time Slay actually had help was Dallas when he got the interception, right?
It was a bit I think he just
it was a bit crowded there. He wasn't the only CB there.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I thought that was the first time Jim Schwartz actually gave him some help. I was like, damn, bro. Like, if you did that rest of the season, he probably had like 5-7 picks by now.
You can't have him 1-on-1 against DK Metcalf and stuff. That's what it was pissing me off. Russell Wilson wasn't even having the best game.
Yeah.
Just DK Metcalf was destroying us, but
I mean,
yeah.
Rod a daily set, man.
I'm getting tired of hearing about
Last
DK
year was
Metcalf.
his worst year, honestly.
You know what's weird about DK Metcalf is like a lot of Seattle fans don't really like him as much. A lot of them tell me like, well, he need to practice on his hands a bit. He dropped the ball a lot. A lot of people tell me that.
Alkabeer.
Yes.
I feel to have that guy here.
I still love him. He's better than who we picked over him. But
that was the knock coming out of college, coming out of Ole Miss. They say he dropped too many balls. That's why nobody.
Like, he got to catch.
Which makes sense, but
when I hear NFL fans talk about the wide receivers, they take these things, they take that position for granted. Coming from an Eagle fan, as we all know, man, you know, you got people talking about the Giant fans talking about Slayton only had a 700 yard. He's really number 3. I'm telling you, some of these other receivers on other teams with number 3 will be our number 1. Now, hopefully things start to change because we got, the Slim Reaper over here, and hopefully he starts to be that guy. But yeah, man, for the longest time, people are like, you got the Cardinals who have Fitzgerald, now they got D-Hop. They go from wide receiver to wide receiver, and we're just trying to get one of them things.
Well, Mike, I'll tell you this. If they think that Darius Slayton is a number 3, then he's about to hit free agency, and I would love to add him.
Oh, Darius Slayton is a problem. Yes,
Yeah.
It's a problem. Yes.
That would be a mistake by the Giants.
Yeah, man. Facts.
I would let Galladay take the walking papers long before I let Slayton do it.
I mean, what's the dude named Kenny Galladay? To be honest, man, arguably wasn't the best receiver on his team. It was Marvin Jones Jr. So it still was just it was a reach to even grab him right there for all that.
Galladay can play.
I'm a big fan of Galladay's game.
Yeah, I like Galladay.
No, I'm not shooting that, but Marvin Jones, man,
he was killing it.
Yeah, Marvin Jones is something. Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah, but as a receiver, man, my fear is when you look like a guy like Kenny Galladay, who's a big, taller receiver, he's not the most physical dude. He's just, you know what I mean? If you start losing that explosiveness because of lower body injuries, it's all over.
Yeah.
That's why, like, for me, I would, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Galladay's a bit of a risk for them, honestly.
That's why you like the Alshon. You like big body guys with good, big hands.
Yeah. Well, until Alshon basically needed, a Walker. to get down the field, he was going to
Running with that piano on his back.
Oh man. So Alshon's officially gone, right? After today.
Yeah, him and Malik Jackson. Right?
I'm very curious where he's going to go. If
Oh, my.
he's still going to play.
My dad
Very
actually
curious.
met him the other day.
What? You serious?
Yeah. My dad was getting a Mercedes, and the guy who was talking to my dad, he was like, "Look who's next door in the cubicle." He's like, "Who?" "Oh, that's outside." And it's like he comes there all the time just to buy cars.
Oh, please.
And my dad was just like, "Where you going? Like, where you going here?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know. Probably Tennessee or something."
Tennessee. Oh,
Probably.
Yeah. And my dad was like, "Okay." My dad
Hey, if
was
he's
like,
buying the car,
Yeah, right.
if he's buying a car, he must already know where he's going. He about to get. He about to
He
get.
just
He's
gets
probably
cars
going to go
all the
somewhere
time.
big to secure that bag. He's going
he
to go
might go
somewhere
to, he
big.
might go to Washington. Just because.
Malik Jackson went to the Browns, right?
They do.
Yeah, oh, the
They do
Browns
toss
nasty,
money over there.
That's the only defensive line I think that's better than ours.
I want the Browns
I
to get
think the
Aaron
Browns.
Rodgers, man. I want the Browns to get A-Rod.
Browns risk. Oh, I'm
What?
sorry. Don't get canceled. Don't get canceled. Football team, perhaps.
Oh.
Browns and football team. Sorry.
I've done that.
Oh,
I've done that.
what?
A football team hater messaged me. It was like, "It's football team, damn it." I'm like, "Okay."
I was grown to, you know, to hate
Yeah.
that previous team.
We all were.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So with the cornerbacks we have now, who do you guys think will be the second next to Slay? Because right now I'm just like, could it be McPherson? No. Could it be
Probably
Scott?
me.
Harry, the bag boy at the grocery store, bro.
Who's on the team? Like, who's really on the team? We got Avonte Maddox and who else? Pearson and Scott.
McPherson.
Who else?
So many people we kind of let go.
You got
though.
McPherson. You got like right now they got Josiah Scott, who they said they're going to play him outside, which that's an Avonte Maddox clone that you're trying to play outside, basically.
Right.
They have one guy that would fit Gannon's scheme, and Michael Jaquette, who's very raw. He's a kid that converted from wide receiver to corner. He's got the ideal height, the ideal size. He's got decent footwork. He's good foot speed, not footwork. Fundamentally he's really guys like this kid. He needs a lot of coaching. Like I don't think that he's quite ready yet, but he's definitely intriguing. Outside of McPherson and him, they signed Meters, whatever that kid's name is. The dude that was with
Nate
Minnesota.
I think that's what.
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, I said that he's gonna break out on your.
I talked to Big
I was
Game.
saying Meters
He talked
at
to
first,
Big Game
too.
on Twitter. Yeah.
Oh, and we signed
Big
the
Game on
dude,
Twitter. So
and
we'll see.
we signed that dude from Tampa Bay, like Andrew Adams or something like that. I forgot.
Yeah. Former Giant.
Safety though.
Yeah, safety too. Yeah.
Yeah, but they said they were going to work him out at corner too.
Why not? What else we got to lose? What we got to lose?
Yeah. They playing Kayvon at corner, bro. So you know what Tom Tomlin is, man.
But I mean, here's the other
Let's
thing
talk about
too,
that.
Bashir, is like, how much can we trust the reports? How much can we trust the reports of where these guys are playing?
Especially about the Jordan Mailata thing last year. They just had us thinking he was bad.
Oh my god!
That is true, though.
Yeah, like it was crazy.
That is
true. When all the smoke clears, if we don't go make no moves, week 1 you're going to see number 2 over there. And I don't know if Avonte Maddox is changing his, but he's going to be lining up outside. He's going to be like, eyes.
Oh, man.
He did do some drills, guys. So Kavon Wallace did do some drills outside. I don't know if they're going to use him as a corner, but he did partake in some drills. He participated in them.
Okay.
I mean,
well, it's a good thing they doing it now rather than close.
Then
season.
in season. Yeah, facts.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's next is that everyone's been tweeting at me, DMing me, like, what are we going to do with this guy? It's hurting our team, and that Zach Ertz. What are we going to do with this guy? Because I feel like we just cut him at this point. I don't know if you saw my video, but I made a video saying, like, I would trade him. I would trade him for, like, a package of water bottles, chips, or Fortnite V-Bucks. I'll take any one of those 3 to get Zach Ertz off.
So I'll say this, Mitch. Let me just say this about the Zach Ertz situation.
Mm-hmm.
If we were in the situation we were at right now with corner needing money, all this stuff going on, I think I would say it would be foolish to cut Zach Ertz because you'll get a compensatory pick for him.
Right.
But the facts are the facts. We need money. And you can't move this dude. You got to get money from somewhere.
But who? That's exactly.
Listen, man, I'm not getting rid of my guy, bro. I'm not getting rid of my guy, bro. I'm not, bro. That's my guy.
I still might get his jersey too, though. I'm still making his jersey too.
I'm not getting rid of my guy, bro. No circumstance. I'm not getting rid of my guy, bro. Because listen, you gotta understand, Zach Ertz was a like a safety blanket for Carson Wentz, man. And Jalen Hurts going into his second year, we gotta surround him with as many weapons as we can if we want him to flourish, man. And I think Zach Ertz can do that for Jalen Hurts. Although he don't want to be here, it's still out.
That's the problem there.
Yeah,
I think it's all a mental thing. That's literally what it is. It's a mental thing. Does he really want to be here, or? I mean, but then with these reports, now it just makes us ask, like, what's going on with Zach Ertz? Is that stuff true at this point? I mean, because it just says one thing, and we find out later on that it wasn't true after all. So, what's really going on with Zach Ertz?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Zach Ertz. If you let me say this. I'm sorry. Let me say this right quick. But if you think about it, Nick Sirianni is a tight end guy, and thinking about that duo, Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. I mean, that's a great duo right there. Yeah. Who are we going to have to replace Zach Ertz? I mean, Dallas Goedert still got a lot of things to learn, but who's going to be able to step up to the plate? You know, to play second if any reason, you know, Zach Ertz is gone.
Well, no, Richard Rodgers did play good, but I don't think that we. I don't know, man.
It's one of those things. The same thing we said about the linebackers is the same thing we got to do with the tight end. You got to let the young guys play. You got to go with Dallas Goedert, probably Jack Stoll, or maybe Sonovet, maybe, and just get Richard Rodgers back. But Zach Ertz, he kind of remind me of Carson Wentz. If his emotions is high and he really wants to play, we get a Super Bowl. If his emotions are low, we get last year's Zach Ertz. Like it was a play against the Browns where I think Carson Wentz threw a pick six, and I think Zach Ertz was pass interference. But he just gave up and was like,
I know
it's what it is. You know what I'm talking about when he threw that pick six. And I'm like, yo, that was a pass interference, but Zach Ertz ain't sell it at all because he ain't care.
That was the Steelers game.
Yeah.
That was the Steelers? Okay, that was the Steelers. I thought that was the Browns. I thought that was the Browns.
You thought the Browns was outshine when he threw the pick.
I know about that one, but it was one in the first quarter. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Here's my whole take. Here's my whole take on Zach Ertz. Look, as Steve said, you know, the compensatory pick is there, and it's based off what he signs for after he leaves. So if you're really trying to do, you know, the bet, like, let's be honest, the main reason Zach Ertz is on the chopping block is because we need money and we can't come to an agreement. And so you have to weigh his mindset. That all plays a part. You have to weigh. And Zach Ertz, I'm trying to tell you, he goes to the right team. You're going to see, and it's not going to be because he hates the Eagles, but listen to what we've been talking about when it comes to wide receivers. We can't get a wide receiver in here to get coverage off Zach Ertz. When a team plays the Eagles, they will figure out we got to bracket Zach Ertz. We got to bump him at the line of scrimmage. We got to put two guys here. And so he's never had a receiver to draw the defense off him. And so if he plays with the Packers and a Devontae Adams, or he plays with a D-Hop in Arizona, or he plays with a Stephon Diggs in Buffalo, he's going to eat. This man doesn't get yak for a couple reasons. He is a little slow. Let's be honest.
And he falls.
But when he gets the ball in his hand, there's not one defender around him. There's multiple defenders around him. There's guys always keen into where he's going to be. He's going to eat other places. And if we weren't broke, if our defense wasn't broken, we would most likely keep him. We would, if we had money, we would get the contract to work. You know what I mean? And if we didn't have money, then we would at least let him play this year out. But Dallas Goedert's coming up, and we see the potential in Dallas Goedert. But there's two things I got to know about Dallas Goedert. Is he going to stop fumbling, and is he going to stay healthy? And if you can't do that, then we can't extend him. So you have to make that move. It's not about we not liking Zach Ertz no more. It's about we're in a bad situation. Now we have a bad blood, and we have to just move on. So I'm with Byshir with throwing the jersey up. And again, it's a business, and we're fans. We're gonna love players, but I hate to see good ones go. I've been through a lot, not as many as Steve has been. You're only 30.
Damn, Mike. Yeah, bro.
No, but I've been through, the McNabbs, the Dawkins, Shepard, Brown, all these guys,
best secondary.
There you go.
That was nasty.
It's just like at this point, it's like it's not going to work. But again, as Byshir said, do you not think that Zach Ertz being a safety blanket to Jalen Hurts is not going to be helpful? It would be. Do you not think that if we do have Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz on a roster, you have to put in perspective, Dallas Goedert gets the majority of the snaps, and the extra snaps and all the extracurricular stuff goes to Zach Ertz because we got to get Dallas Goedert up to the hand. But it's definitely going to be a helping stone. He's still a top 5 tight end in the game, and he's going to make some team
arguably the best for the moment.
Yeah, for that one little stint, you're right.
Now, is there a possibility that they'll move Whiteside to tight end? Because I've been hearing that like nonstop.
They'll never do that.
There's too much to play. Like the thing about it is, like, he has to be able to inline block to be moved there. And even though JJ is a fairly good blocking receiver, it's a little different blocking inline. And if you can't block inline and you're being tabbed a tight end, you're really just a tall slot. You're just a tall slot receiver. Here's my thing. Since Mike talked about me being old enough to remember the man on the hill, so I do go back a little bit. I remember Keith Byers. Man. The last time I can remember having 2 back sets, I'm kidding. Obviously, there was the Charlie Garner, Ricky Water years, but then we all know about Deuce and everything that happened there. But like, I remember 2 back sets. I remember it, and I still am holding out faith that this organization will figure out that there's a way of implementing a 2-back set in the modern game through spread offense concepts along with West Coast offense concepts. I'm still holding out, Mike. I'm still holding out that Nick Sirianni's going to get it because Doug let me down. Doug let me down. He'd do it for like 1 game, and then he would abandon it. And then like all my dreams and hopes just like fell to the floor every single time, man.
Listen, man, y'all said y'all old enough to know that stuff. I'm old enough. Well, I'm not that older than you guys, but my heartbreak. Wow. My whole breakups and my heartbreak was, LaShawn McCoy, Vic.
That's still my heartbreak.
That's heartbreak right there, bro.
My heart still breaks today about LaShawn McCoy.
But that was my heartbreak, man. And y'all touched on a good point about the 2-back set. And I think when you talk about Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts being implemented in the offense with Devontae Smith, I think the play action pass, no matter how bad we think, or let's say Jalen Hurts do have a bad year, which I'm not, praying on. Even if you do have a bad year, you still got to implement him in your offense or your defensive game plan because his ability to run. So regardless, however, the play action pass is going to be there. The Devontae Smith, he creates separation like no other, man, especially coming from the line. So Miles Sanders is going to feast. I think Jalen Hurts definitely he's definitely gonna have his way, and man, ain't no telling what Devontae Smith gonna do, bro. So the sky's the limit for this offense, especially because they're still young. So I'm actually excited to see what they got to bring to the table.
Yeah, Byshir, remember what I said on your stream?
What was that?
Remember you thought it was a hot take?
Yeah, hot take. Yeah, he said Devontae with 1,000 yards, man.
He won't say more. I've heard him getting like 1,200. That's a little too much. But
yeah, facts. I don't know, man.
I would love that. I would love that. Who was the last hit 1,000? Was it Jeremy Maclin? Who was the last hit 1,000?
Yeah, Jeremy Maclin.
Yeah. Hey, wait. Let's give a second place prize to Jordan Matthews. What do you have? 997, 998.
Yeah, he was right there.
I loved Jordan Matthews. I freaking loved him. He was freaking my cousin. So I'm like, I had to love him no matter what.
Travis Fulgham could have had 1,000 yards, but we hindered him.
I think he could have.
He could have had 1,000. He could have.
We hindered her from outshine. That was messed up.
So, the one thing about Doug, I think
Nelson almost
700 or something.
It was
like 750 or something.
Yeah. Like 10 yards shy.
So, Vic,
wait, what's that?
If I ask you this, so dirty little secret about Doug. Look back. We talked about Zach Ertz, right, and how Zach Ertz kind of really turned it off last year. Like, I mean, he was clearly upset about the treatment from the front office after sacrificing his body in the end of the 2019 season, right? Travis Fulgham looks like he's gonna be the new thing here in Philadelphia. Gets pulled, starts losing reps because of veterans coming back. He's not the same guy when he returns back to the field after that. I mean, to me, this is maturity issues. This is clear-cut maturity issues, in my opinion. Like that, to me, that's an indication of bad coaching. That's a guy that does not have control of the team. Although, you know, it's crazy because Doug could rally the troops, but he couldn't hold it together, man, with the maturity.
Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Nah, I was wondering who was getting beat up in the background or something.
Oh my god.
Yo, I thought that was me.
You had me so invested, and I was like, wait, what? All right, go on.
So if we talk about offensive weapons, if you get a coach that's going to hold players accountable, and he's not going to let these little things slide, could we quickly start seeing guys emerge in this system?
Yes.
Yeah. I guess we could.
Here's the only thing I'm going to say real quick. How much was it Doug and how much was it Howie? And
that's exactly what I was
saying. It was the
both.
Weasel. The Weasel.
It was Doug's inability to keep guys on the same page, and you know what I mean, and hold them accountable. But it's Howie's fought for coming in there and interrupting a locker room he has no business interrupting.
Hey, that's why I asked the same question. Do you think he's going to do the same thing to Nick, considering the fact that this is Nick's first year?
I don't think Nick is. Yeah, I don't think it's going to go down with Nick, man, because I don't think Nick's the same dude as Doug. I think Nick's. I don't think Nick's quite the pushover Doug is, to be honest.
He'll challenge him
I think Doug was a bit of a pushover, and I think what happened to Doug was Doug knew he probably didn't have the qualifications to be a head coach. I think he recognized that, knew that he was getting the opportunity of a lifetime, and I think he gave away entirely too much power to the front office from the jump. And then when they try to do the backhanded shady crap to him and he ended up winning the Super Bowl, it completely changed the dynamics. But the front office still didn't trust him, and he didn't trust the front office. I don't think that dynamic is there with Nick. I think it's a completely different dynamic. But I think that was part of it. I mean, think about it. There's a reason why everyone gets on Howie in the front office for picking Doug's coaches. They had to. Doug had no connections. That's just the truth.
I'm sorry. That's just bad. I'm sorry. That was just awful. Man. I had to laugh. Oh, that was bad.
It was the truth. He didn't have the connections to bring forth an actual, coaching. And then look, I'm not defending when he said, "I want this dude to be my OC. I want this dude to be my DC." Like, if he's your coach, he's supposed to have the right to do that.
Right.
But he was making some bad. Doug was making some bad choices, man.
Yeah, he was.
He was making some horrific choices. If I'm going to be honest.
Oh,
yeah.
man. Oh, man.
You know what? I have the Doug Peterson book signed. So
what, Fearful?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I'll probably get one still. Get one.
The guy who was fixing my kitchen at the time, his wife is good friends with Doug Peterson's wife. So I got a book, and I was like, it's still in my cabinet. So I'm like, what do I do with it?
Read it.
Yeah.
If you know me, I don't read.
No, man. But when you look at Nick Sirianni, you could tell that he definitely has experience working with wide receivers, like the way him and Devontae Smith been interacting at practice and his whole thing with making sure you want to get the best out of Devontae. I think that is extremely important because I think that's something that Doug didn't really enforce on rookies. Like, he expected Rager to come in here and learn these different positions, which is, you need to learn the entire playbook. But when you just implement stuff and not, give them opportunity to learn and try to help them, then that's when you see guys just fall off the rails. I think this year you're going to see Rager take a big jump because Devontae Smith is going to be at number one. So you're going to have Rager in a slot lined up with a linebacker. See ya. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be crazy. Like, Rager might have a really a big precipitous jump. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be crazy.
I think so too.
Yeah. You know what? I actually got an interesting question.
Shoot it.
So you guys are very excited for Nick Sirianni as a head coach?
Yeah.
I was until the rock paper scissors, And then I was like,
I went along. I go along with that. Rock paper scissors. I go along with it. But yeah, I already think Nick Sirianni is much more qualified. The guy is so excited to be a head coach. The guy he knows.
and
He frozen.
he froze. I gotta
He's
admit,
about that Nick Sirianni energy. That's why.
I gotta admit, I love that hat. I'm just saying.
The only thing I'm worried about is how we have control of the roster, though.
Nah, you're good now. You're good now.
You're good.
Oh, he's still
You're back
breaking
in.
up.
What happened? Oh man.
Oh my god.
Probably the Ethernet's probably kicking in now. I don't know.
You're good. Okay.
Good now? All right,
Yeah.
cool. Now, my question was, so we understand Nick Sirianni is very exciting. So, do you think he was the right pick over Deuce Staley becoming the head coach?
That's a tough one.
That's tough. Morally, no. Strategy-wise, yes.
Yeah.
That way.
I think Nick is going to be very successful, and I think he's probably going to have. I think he's the better choice over Deuce, but Deuce had history.
Yes,
That's the thing.
Yes,
Deuce had a history, and it's like, yo, you're supposed to reward guys that are this loyal to your organization.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
Mike knows I was a pretty quick one to jump on the Deuce train and say yo, I want Deuce to be the coach. I knew it wasn't going to happen.
Me too.
I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I really wanted that to happen. But I do think Nick's probably the better hire, to be honest. But
He's
you know what? Honestly, if I never heard Nick speak and Deuce was the coach, I'd be just as excited.
I want him to be the coach because I know he was gonna run the damn ball because he got shot back there. He got Miles Sanders. That's the only reason why I want him to be the head coach. But I mean, I think that the problem that I had was the fact that I think it took them like 3 days probably longer than that to even interview Deuce. That was the problem with me, that the fact that he had to wait so long for an interview. I'm like, damn, the dude couldn't get an interview, like if not the first one, at least second to third, man. Like he's been with your organization for like 10 years. I think he was a equipment manager or someone along the lines. Then he worked his way up and all that stuff. So I think that was the biggest problem for me. But I mean, all around, I'm all around excited for Nick Sirianni. I think he is going to flourish because he know what he talks about when it comes to wide receivers. I think what's the dude that before Aaron Moorhead? I forgot his name. Was it
It was
Carson Walsh.
Yeah, Walsh. Yeah, he didn't know
That
he was
dude
doing.
sucked.
Yeah, he didn't know he was
we
doing
had a
that.
lot of guys like him.
Yeah, he didn't know him and the other guy. They didn't know what they was doing. Man.
Press Taylor.
Yeah, they didn't know what they was doing, man. So I think Nick definitely.
Sorry. I'm not supposed to say the word sucked anymore. Like that was a whole conversation I had with Max Brown about when I got to interview Max Brown, bro, he let me into the psychology of playing sports. So I'm trying to avoid saying those words, but yo, that dude was not made for the job. Let's just say that.
It just comes out naturally, I guess.
You can't call basketball players busts no more. So I understand.
Yeah, you can't even say that no more.
Colin Brown, but there you go.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh, Mike Groh. Oh my God, Mike.
Yeah, Mike Groh.
Oh my God, man. Yo. Yeah, like I said,
Oh man, thank God. I'll never forget that day.
I forgot. How did we?
I was making a video, and next thing I know, I got breaking news. Mike Groh was fired. I was like, yeah. Right in the middle of the video.
Oh my God.
And you gotta love it. You gotta
Mike,
love it.
you think he was calling the Giants? You think he was calling the Giants going, so how do you guys use Golden Tape?
Yeah, right.
Oh my God. I'm like, how do you know how to use Golden Tape, man?
I kind of forgot we had Golden Tape.
Oh my God.
Yo, Eagle Talk. Thanks for that,
Mike Groh.
Oh yeah, thank you for that.
You can't let that slip as a coach. You just can't say that. You can't say that on a camera.
You just can't.
Like,
I don't know how to use it. You are a wide receiver coach. How do you know how do you not know how? You are a wide receiver coach.
No, it's the fact that Doug said I didn't have enough plays in fourth. How the hell you don't got enough plays in the red zone? Explain that.
That was bad.
Come on, like what was you talking about?
Yo, listen, and that was part of the loss against the Ravens. Listen, the Ravens were killing us. We come back, we end up losing because we can't convert on We can't convert on a 2-point conversion, but previously we went for multiple 2-point conversions when we didn't need to. What broke me a couple times in the season was just the fact that you got a guy in Jalen Reagor who's not returning putts. You put him out there, he returns a putt for a touchdown. You're too good. Get up out of here.
After Wentz was benched.
Yeah.
After Wentz was benched.
You got Doug Peterson who does the same play. He puts Jalen Hurts in on a quarterback keeper to whoever the running back was. I forgot at the time. It goes nowhere. You do the play again with Carson Wentz, who's slower than Jalen Hurts, and you say, well, yeah, because we were running out of plays and we were running out of 2-point conversion plays. Well, stop doing it.
Stop doing it.
That was against the Ravens, right? I felt like we could have won that game.
Yeah,
I really felt like we could have won that game.
And then he played it on I'm not sure if it was Richard Rodgers. I'm not sure if it was Richard Rodgers or the dude we had for that little bit of time, Hakeem Butler. They assumingly he missed the block. That's what let LJ4 come right in. But regardless, that play should not have been ran right there, man. I don't care. That was just horrible.
And last thing was this. There was one time where we were down 3. No, I forgot what we were down. But at the end of the day, the touchdown we got, if we just kicked the extra point,
it'd been tied.
No, it wouldn't have been tied, but we would have been down. We would have been down by 3, which is not what you want to be, because then you don't have to score a touchdown. You can kick a field goal to go in overtime, right? Yeah. But he went for 2. To me, it's like this: if we're down by 4 or we're down by 2, it doesn't matter. Exactly.
What was that logic he said? What was that logic he put up?
Was that heading into overtime or halftime?
I'm not sure. I just know that. Instead of it being a one possession, instead of it being a field goal game to either tie or win, we now needed a touchdown. I'm not sure if we ultimately lost that game or not. Like I said, it was a boatload of things, man. The way it all happened, it's almost like if I told somebody who didn't watch the football season last year, they would think I'm lying. Yeah, the fact that we went for 2-point conversions when we didn't. The fact that the coach admitted that. And like, look, Miles Sanders runs the ball 6 times in a game. 6 times.
Yeah, that's why I wanted Sarah Fuller.
I was about to say that too.
I want Sarah Fuller. Jake
Elliott, yo, he gotta go.
I'm getting tired of Jake Elliott, bro.
Once you get the bread, man, I don't know. It's like once these players get their money, man, they just stink. I don't know, man. I don't know what would have happened.
So can you blame part of Jake Elliott for shortcomings on Doug for not bashing his kicker and not giving him the reps he needed to warm up?
True. It's very true.
No,
it's true. I mean,
kicking
repetition.
Yeah.
Every time we talk about this guy, every time. Thank you, Jake Elliott, but come on, bro. You got to do better.
No,
you got to do better, Jake.
We almost lost to the Saints because of him, right?
Listen, Doug Peterson, he'd rather let his kicker kick a 50-yard bomb. I mean, a 50-yard kick at Heinz Field when it's wet instead of home at like the 20-yard line. This man got no logic at all, bro. Like
he was missing those though. I ain't gonna lie, he was missing the 20-yarders too.
The 20-yarders, yeah.
He was missing the 20-yarders too.
Yeah, but here's the thing:
the 20-yarders, 30-yarders. But he was making 50s like it was nothing.
Is there a kicker in free agency that I'm forgetting about?
No.
Okay.
No,
Kareem Hunt.
So. I don't know. Jake's contract won't matter anyway. He ain't going nowhere.
Is Sarah Fuller eligible to get drafted into the NFL? I thought she was, right?
I
forgot what college she went to. I know she got kicked. I know that's the only thing I really.
Right, thank you, bro.
So,
big play Slay.
Like he's everywhere, bro. Everywhere.
He really is everywhere.
Shout out to him. He's everywhere.
He's got notifications bell up the wazoo. I'm just saying. Love you, Slay.
No, man. So ask y'all a quick question before we get deeper, bro. Yeah. Before we talk about Vanderbilt, before we start talking about coaching and stuff like that, I want to ask a question. What receiver do you think is the odd man out?
Whiteside?
Good question.
Umbrella.
Besides him. He should be off the team like a year.
Right now depends on how many they're going to keep. I think that's part of the equation. Are they keeping 5 or are they keeping 6? JJ's got an uphill battle, guys, because he's got to. If you're not starting and you're not playing special teams, why exactly are you on the roster again? You better have a really specific role that's important to the team's success.
Maybe
And I don't know
practice
that I can say
squad,
that JJ does.
Maybe
Yeah, I mean,
practice
like it
squad.
just. I definitely think
Hightower?
I think he's in trouble. I do.
Hightower?
I think Hightower is in trouble too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides
The only
JJ,
thing-
of course.
Yeah.
Quez
But at least
Watkins,
Hightower
I
can
kind of
hang
forgot
his hat
him.
on really
Quez
good route
Watkins,
running.
whoo,
Yeah.
he's another one that's been
I
good.
mean, yeah, but all due respect, Quez had a little bump in his roads and stuff like Quez, but he wasn't. I think they said he was too slow in and out of his breaks or something like that. Like Steve, you know how to break down the game, you know what I'm saying? So what is wrong with Quez Watkins or something like that? Not wrong with him, but
it's not that he's slow per se. It's that he doesn't. Quez is running very basic route concepts.
Mm-hmm.
Things like Ohio concepts, just really basic because he doesn't understand the offense. He's just not. He wasn't that far along last year. I don't know where he's at currently, but he wasn't that far along last year. Quez is young. He's very young. Quez is like a baby for real. Like he's young, man. He's really young.
Junior, yeah.
I'm not even sure he
junior.
got a beer yet, bro.
Yeah, come on, Junior.
Yeah, I'm not too sure that man could buy a beer yet, to be honest with you. Like,
I get a beer anytime. I get him a beer.
not before game day.
Yeah, Quez is young. Man. Quez is real young. Look, John Hightower, I don't think is a lock either to make the team, but I do think he can hang his hat on being a very good route runner. But he hears footsteps. John hears the footsteps, and he pulls up on balls. There's no doubt about it, man. He hears them footsteps coming. Even if they're nowhere near him, he hears them, and he starts pulling up. He definitely dropped the focus on a few passes, to be honest.
Yeah.
Travis, Jalen, Greg.
I mean, I look at it this way, guys. To me, the only two true two locks to me are Rager because he's a first-round pick from the year prior, and then obviously Devontae Smith because he's this year's first-round pick. Yeah. I think Greg Ward Jr. is a guy you're always going to try to upgrade over, but I also think that he's skilled enough to probably always kind of stick on the roster too. I mean, especially with this group of guys, I don't know that there's anyone good enough to knock him off off the roster, to be honest.
Greg Ward's my surprise cut. If he gets cut,
I don't think it's going to happen, man. I mean, I think he's going to see a reduction in how many snaps he gets on the playing field, but I don't think that the receiving core is good enough to knock him off. I look at it this way: like Grimes has a shot, but I mean, Grimes isn't like a lock either.
No.
JJ certainly not a lock.
No.
Oh man.
No, but here's the thing, though.
Quez might be the dude.
I really think this coaching staff is going to, you're going to look at last year's tape and you're going to think some things about certain players coming into it. John Hightower was given the opportunity early, showed signs, was able to beat the defense, couldn't track the ball, heard the footsteps. Quez Watkins not able to get on the field due to injury and not being ready, came on the field late and played some key snaps on some short yardage stuff, bubble screens and whatnot. Travis Fulgham put a tremendous tape out there for a 3 or 4 game sample size, but then also showed whether it was legitly injury that they kind of sprinkled in the offseason too, the fact that he couldn't handle his snaps being taken away, but you got to be able to keep that mindset. I'm not the guy who's going to get fed, but when my number's called, I'm a ball. So you don't want that mindset. So that is a downer. But I think Nick Sirianni and his coaching staff is going to look at this wide receiver group as a brand new slate. So a guy like, if everybody gets brand new slate, the person who can use the brand new slate most is J.J. Whiteside. But if things come forward, I don't think he's going to show enough to beat some of these guys out. And so I still got, like you said, the Devontae Smith and the Jalen Ragers as the locks. Even the Travis Fulgham, because of the dip in production, and he did go real south with drops and just lackluster moves. Again, the coaching staff pulled him too, but he played a full that last Giants game, I broke down that whole thing. He played the whole game, and the Giants, credit James Bradbury, they took him out. That was the game right before Alshon came back. Or no, Alshon came back, but he played very little snaps. He kind of lost his focus, dropped balls, only caught like one ball for like 4 yards. So, it's a wait and see. But I think the tail end, 4, 5, and 6 is going to be the fight. The 4, 5, 6, the 4, 5, and 6 is going to be the fight between the Johns, the Quez, the Grimes, the Whitesides. There's a couple other ones, but I like you said, I think Greg Ward, he came a long way in running routes. The dude had some crispy routes last year. I keep saying I want to break down his tape, and I start, and then I get called away by some other thing. You know, the picks has been killing me too. We're just doing contests. So, but Greg Ward Jr. low key, not only has he been Mr. Reliable, and he's not going to beat you deep, he's not going to just do too much. But I mean, just a simple slant route from now until when he got called up is so much different. And I do think he's a guy that if you have him on a roster, how good could your wide receiver core be? Because he's limited. He's not going to be a ceiling guy, and you risk getting rid of a ceiling guy for a guy who's reliable. But if you miss on a ceiling, you get someone who's 100% not reliable.
I see it this way, Mike. I see it as I see it as JJ Arcega. Well, hang on. I'll just go with who I see on the roster. I see it as obviously, you know, Devontae Smith, Jalen Reagor, Travis Fulgham are your likely three that are going to get the majority of your snaps. Probably. My fourth guy would be Greg Ward Jr. just because I think he's got a clear, defined role as a third down conversion receiver and a red zone receiver. People don't think of him because he's not a big, tall guy, but he's precise in his route running.
And they built the connection already.
Yeah, he gets open. He gets open in those situations. So he would be my fourth guy. My fifth guy right now would probably be Quez Watkins. I mean, I think Quez has got a long way to go in terms of the knowledge, and there's no guarantees here because this is a new system. It's a new coaching staff. They might say this kid is way too far away. But right now, I'd have him as my 5. Now you get to the awkward spot of, are they keeping 6? Are they going to keep 6 receivers? If they keep 6 receivers, I think it's Hightower because I think Hightower does have a ton of upside. But you know what? Man, Brian Johnson got on the phone. And I'm sorry, but I mean, it means something when he gets on the phone and tells you to get down here or get up here. We got a shot for you. So I kind of look at this and I think to myself, like, you know, Grimes has a shot. So Hightower, Grimes, and JJ, I think, are the 3 that are kind of really fighting for if they keep 6 to make the roster.
Wait. What did Brian Johnson do again?
Brian Johnson called Trayvon Grimes and told him there's a spot for him open in Philadelphia. Get up here.
Oh, yeah, because he was right. Yeah,
the quarterback coach he was the offensive coordinator for Florida.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can't really rule it out. You know what I mean? Like, he's still got to go in there and win the job. And like, Hightower can play. And Hightower's a really good route runner. He's a good route runner. But then you got to start questioning.
Who?
Yeah, you got to start questioning. Yeah, I think he's got a shot. But he's going to have to – I think he's got to beat out – I think he has to beat out Grimes and Hightower. They have to keep 6, in my opinion, for JJ to make it. Because JJ's really just not a special teams player. Like if you look at John Hightower, I don't know about Trayvon Grimes, guys. I mean, I have to really look it up, but you know, at least you know Hightower could play special teams. He could be a kick returner for you. He could play on, you know, punt coverage. He can do those type of things for you. I don't know you're going to get that from JJ. JJ's never really been that guy.
He's too slow.
He wasn't a good fit here.
Bro, I don't know.
The only reason why I'm saying JJ is because he was a 2nd-round pick.
So
get him out of here. You know, the GMs, the upper management got to prove that he can play some way, somehow. I think Howie has an ego. We keep forgetting Howie got control of the roster. So I would not be surprised if he beat out one of these guys just because of ego of the upper management. But not skill set, of course.
When you have a second head coach and separate offensive coaches coming to you telling you this kid can't play, at some point the ego's got to go. Like, the kid can't play. You know what I mean? If they come to you and they say, like, Howie, man, look, we know you drafted this kid. We know you spent that kind of draft capital on him. This kid is not an NFL receiver.
What if
I don't know what you can do.
That's Whiteside, right?
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of Markelle Fultz at this point. He low-key reminds me.
Oh, but you can't listen. Markelle Fultz went to Orlando and he played pretty
well.
The same might go for Arcega-Whiteside.
Yeah, he might.
At this point, I just don't care. He's not doing good here. He has no use.
Whiteside is no use for me.
Yeah, listen, he might need to change the scenery, bro. But the only reason why Howie Roseman, I feel like, is a problem is, like you said, not only the ego, it's the fact that he don't want to admit this, man. Listen, man, Andre Dillard, what's going on with him? JJ Arcega-Whiteside, what's going on with him? These dudes were Andre Dillard.
Trade his ass to Houston. They were looking. They wanted him. Trade him to Houston.
They got Titus Howard. Titus Howard looked like the better offensive lineman. So we moved up to get Dillard. That seemed like to be a backfire. Then you get JJ Arcega-Whiteside over DK Metcalf, which is complete nonsense. And then on top of that, you don't want to admit defeat that you were wrong. it's like, come on, man, enough's enough. When the dude can't play, just kicking him off your team and you'll have a good day. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand, man.
Yeah. And again, you're always going to have a couple people who say, how bad was the coaching staff? But again, like, here's my thing. Like, I can't give JP the benefit of the doubt with coaching staff when we called up an ex-quarterback and he was still able to produce. You know what I mean? We got Greg Moore Jr., a quarterback out of Arizona, who was able to produce. So you can't – I mean, yes, the coaching staff might not be the best of the best, and it might have been some guys' problems. But if you see a guy who was a quarterback come up and be able to just get something to just move the chains, you can't give Whiteside too many more passes. Like, I think it's like he got a battle in camp. He can't come with no umbrellas. I don't care how sunny it is. Dude, by the can't lotion on and go out there and ball.
No, listen, Uncle Mike. This how bad he was, bro. He was so bad that when he picked up that fumble, we actually cheered for him like he did something, bro. He is so bad, and I'm not in NFL, so I don't say men are garbage, nothing like that, man. But I never seen a player who is actually bad, and people literally know this man is bad, and he's still on the roster. It's crazy to me, bro. Like, he should have been off the team if you ask me.
Well, I know a player is in the NBA. His name's Mike Scott.
Oh yeah. That's another one. That's another one. That's another one.
Don't get me started, bro. I got this comment.
So let me ask you guys a question. If JJ starts to flash in camp, how do you judge it? That's really the thing, right? Because he's not a special teams player.
I'm still
if this kid starts having a good camp, that complicates everything. Because now you're like, okay, who are we bumping? Because he's going to have to be either your third or your fourth guy. He has to be that in order, in my opinion, to make this team. So he's going to have a very defined role. I don't know, man. Like, I want, Mike knows. I want to believe in JJ. I want to believe that it's salvageable. The wide receiver coach in me. The wide receiver coach in me wants to believe that JJ Arcega-Whiteside can be reformed and can play in the league. But man, it's just hard, bro. Because when you break down his film, it's ugly, man. It's real ugly.
He's got a touchdown.
Listen, bro.
I don't think he'll be as good as arena football.
I don't care if JJ out there looking like the college film that we thought they talked about the next Gronk, my butt. But it's still, man, it's like JJ, if he flash, even a trash can catch a stick. He getting off my team, bro. He should not be here. It's simple, man. Like, I don't understand, bro. Like, why are we keeping him around because he's a second round pick? That's the stuff that's what made us remember when we went to go get Greg Ward, Robert Davis, Deontay Burnett, and all those guys. We had to bring all those dudes in because he couldn't live up to not even expectation. He couldn't live up to himself. It was just wrong, bro. No more chances. I'm done.
But he had a good camp last season, but that's what we was told anyway. He's still.
Alkabeer, that's the thing.
Fire whoever said that.
JJ can be a superstar at the YMCA with all due respect.
Malata's the one who had a good camp. They mixed the names up.
Yeah,
I think I didn't have any account.
Yeah, didn't they say like Dillard, like he had a fight with somebody and start crying or
Peters,
something?
I think it was JC Peters. Was it JC Peters?
No, it was a defensive lineman. I think it was.
Derek Barnett.
Derek Barnett. Okay. He started crying and all that stuff, man. Come on.
Was he really?
No. You know what's also concerning? Like, look last year. So, like, in 2019, he has 10 catches for 169 yards. And, we're talking about, like, we'll be okay with him just, like, not be okay, but, like, can you at least, like, double it to 25 catches, maybe 400 yards? The dude had 4 catches for 85 yards. He took himself out of games too. Like how about that one time that before I forgot who we were playing, but he's having a conversation with Howie. Now again, it could be some legit family things and all that, but it's like the aura around him is an umbrella at training camp with his mom, taking himself out of games, being like you can't
make
that. So the tape is bad, and it's not even like the one thing is like if the guy's tape is bad, but the dude he keeps putting himself in horrible positions. Like you can't be talking to the owner on the field 20 minutes before the game, like, man, I think my stomach hurt. I don't know what the issue was, so I don't want to press the point because it could have been something bad, but you don't see that.
Yeah.
You see that.
But the crazy thing is, Mike, when he was coming out in 2019, when he was coming out, and we saw him in that Tennessee game in the preseason.
Ravens.
No, Tennessee was the big game. Yeah.
Or Jackson, one of them.
He had 100 yards against the Ravens.
I think that was Tennessee, man, with McCown. When he was coming out of the preseason, he looked like a competent wide receiver. But they also had him running different routes. The route tree was simplified for him. I don't know, man. Like, it just seems so weird that a dude could fall off that far and be that bad. Like, some of it is personal accountability. I mean, it's on the player. Some of it is purely coaching staff. It was purely on the coaches. There's just no way a dude is that bad. Like, I mean, dudes can be bad, but like, yo, that was like, I mean, come on, man. You're running into your own tackle on a motion play. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, it was against the Ravens.
It was against the Ravens.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, he went for like what, a buck 15?
104.
What?
Oh, his stack. This is
I was like, wait, what?
bro. We got to stop, man.
Yeah, that was crazy though. But yo, you and that's the worst part. You watched a preseason game and the dude goes for 100 yards with Josh McCown. You see him catching slants. He's a big dude, firm at the catch point. Blah 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 blah. And then he just comes into the season and just like.
Because I really thought he was going to be the replacement for Alshon.
That's what they said.
That's what it really was supposed to be, right?
Told me, bro, he was some red zone threat. I never seen him catch a touchdown in the red zone.
Yo, listen, watch his Stanford highlights, bro.
His Stanford highlights.
That's the problem. I see him. That's what I was saying. I see you do it. What's going on? That's like, come on, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, there were warning signs even though at Stanford, because when he played better competition at Stanford, he wasn't nearly as dominant. Like, there were games where he was playing Troy Pride Jr. with Notre Dame where he wasn't, I'm not going to say he did, he won a few against them, but like he wasn't mossing people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he was really taking advantage of some of those. Like, he had like a crazy game against like San Diego State or something. There was somebody like that where he had like he almost had like 300 yards receiving. It was something crazy like that.
Oh, wow.
Like, I mean, that inflates your stats a little bit. But yeah, he abused smaller corners. I mean, the thing is, though, is that when you get to the NFL, there's smaller corners that lined up on him, and he didn't abuse them. So, I mean, I don't know.
All right. So, two more things. One, my buddy and I were talking about this for like a couple hours the other day. Rate the NFC East quarterbacks from 1 to 4 this season, because I was stuck between a couple.
Said corners, cornerback, CB,
quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks.
Yeah,
that's easy. Daniel Jones Stucks. His name is Danny Pennies, man, for a reason.
Daniel Pennies. Yup.
That's
a good one.
So he's 4. Okay. He's 4 for you.
It'll go to me. It'll go Dak Prescott, of course. You gotta respect Dak. Then I'll put Hurts.
He might not be the same after he got hurt though.
I mean, that is true, and
Yeah,
but
exactly.
if we're going based off of talent wise,
Yeah, I still put Dak in first though. For now.
For me, I do Hurts too, because Hurts damn near had Daniel Jones stats within 4 starts. Daniel Jones stuff, we know this. Then it go Daniel Jones, and then whoever watched
Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think,
or Taylor Heineke, one of them.
It will be Fitzpatrick or yeah.
I put Daniel Jones number 5. I put our backup number 4 and Daniel Jones number 5.
Yeah, he's bad.
I just like to trigger a Giants fan. You'll see somebody comment soon.
He's bad.
Yeah, but yo, low key, anybody who has 10 touchdowns, 11 picks, man, I can't put that.
Yeah,
it's like
he stinks.
And here's the thing. And
He's
if
a
Giants
washed up
fans
Eli
say-
with legs. I've said it all the time. He's a washed up Eli Manning with legs. That's all he is.
and the Giants
he
fans will
scored
say,
on y'all.
and the Giants fans will say that he didn't have no weapons. Well, who was hurt?
That's
Who did
what
the
I'm
Eagles
trying to.
have?
What are you trying to tell me?
You had no weapons.
Yeah, you try to tell me that all the time, man. You should see my Twitter DMs. It's just full of weirdo
Yeah.
old men. It's
They
just-
tried to get Devontae Smith. What happened?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I am Gate and everybody. I am taking this bet with Chris the Entertainer. We still got to figure out what we're going to put on it, but it's going to be Jones versus Hurts overall touchdown. He's giving me rushing, including. Now I know Daniel Jones has a little escapability to his game. He can get some rushing touchdowns, but I was kind of nervous at first because Justin Jones does got a boatload of weapons over there. I think we got some weapons over here, but he was like touchdowns. Who's going to have more, Hurts or Jones? I was going to say Hurts, but depending on what the bet was, how sure was I? Then he said overall, and I said we got to do it, man. You're going to give me rushing touchdowns too.
Yeah.
No, you should have bet. No, you should have betted him. If anyone face plants. If anyone face plants.
Face yeah,
Yeah.
Daniel Jones going straight down. My good friend is a Giants fan. I texted him and he was like, dude, don't talk to me right now. He's like,
It's like every time I have a live stream, you know, all my friends, we friends with inside the division. So I got Cowboys fans, Giants fans, I don't know, Redskins fans, but still, it's just like
Oh, don't say that word. Don't say that word.
football team fans. I don't know the football team fans, but it's like I don't know, man. Somebody.
What do you mean? A lot of people like football.
No.
It's greatest sport.
Yo, hold on. That's the thing. You know, because look, I'm cool with the real Ed Oliver, and so he has my phone number.
Right.
Whenever he texts me like, "Hail the football team," I always text him back, "What football team?" There's 30.
You got to keep saying, you know, football team. What football team?
So mad, but every time he texts me about something, because he always finish it. He could be talking about basketball, but then he always leaves at the end, like it's like one of his little signatures. Hail to the football team.
Right.
He always reply back with, "What football team?" There's 32. Be more specific.
No, man. I think Daniel Jones gonna finish. I think Daniel Jones might have like 30 interceptions this year, bro. He's gonna swing that pill, bro. He is because you don't want to run Saquon legs into the ground, so you definitely gonna have to swing that pill whatsoever. So, and he got weapons, so it's no reason for him not to throw the ball. But when he do it, it's a turnover machine. So I'm fine, bro. He sucks.
All right, DE, what's your order? Go ahead, do your order, Diego.
With the quarterbacks?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Dak first, Hurts. Same thing. Dak first, Hurts. That's a debate. Hurts or Fitzpatrick at number 2. I'm going to go with Hurts number 2, Fitzpatrick 3, and Daniel Jones last. Daniel Jones dead last. I'll put him 7th, honestly.
Yeah, he's not good, man.
I think mine's the same order. Gotta go Dak first, Hurts second, Fitzpatrick, then Daniel Jones. But at the same time, I could possibly put Fitzpatrick second though. I don't know. That's just me being unbiased.
Yeah.
I can see it. Yeah.
Well, you can put Fitzpatrick anywhere because when he's on fire,
he's on fire, yeah. That's what.
And then when he's like Daniel Jones numbers, you don't know what you're gonna get. So you can put him at like 1 whenever he hits on Fitzmagic. You can put him at -5 when he's like Daniel Jones or
It's tragic,
man.
Yeah.
I'm not just sleeping on Flacco. I'm in a coma. I'm in a coma on Flacco. I'm in a coma.
That was a great signing. I still can't believe we got Flacco for that. I was shocked. I was like, whoa, didn't I expect that? But anyways.
What's you, Mike? What's your order? The same
thing?
thing?
Hey, Gate, you go first. Gate, I was waiting.
Let me go first. I'm going to say it's Dak and who cares about the rest because everybody's got their own issues.
Everybody got to prove something.
Everybody else has their own issues, bro. We don't know anything about Hurts. Hurts could be the worst of these guys.
That's a good point, though. That's why I said Fitzpatrick probably number 2.
Yeah. Fitzpatrick he's a career journeyman backup.
He's been in the game, and we only seen 4 games, and then a lot of 1 or 2 plays per game, you know. Yeah. But that's just probably so far for this season. But I know it'll change afterwards because Hurts still got to prove something.
Listen,
Hurts doesn't prove anything yet. I mean, I think there's talent there, and I think he could definitely be the number 2 guy. Possibly be number 1, depending on if Dak's not right. coming off this injury,
Yeah.
Hurts could be the best quarterback in this division. That's true. He could also be the worst. It's hard to say. I don't know enough about him yet. I'll say this. I'm not overly impressed with Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's a career journeyman. He'll be 39 by the end of the season. Like, he's never been good enough to hold down the starting job.
Same
like
age as Jason Peters.
Yeah.
He's
you know
been
what I'm saying? Like, I
8
mean,
teams.
I just
He's
feel
gonna
like
be
eventually the wheels are going to really come off for him.
Hurts
And
is
it's no disrespect to him, because I do think that he can read. Like, if you're talking about the knowledge of the game and everything, like, like, I would say that he's the most knowledgeable out of all the quarterbacks, including Dak. He's seen every coverage there is. But at the same time, like, dude, he's 39. Like, he's going to be 39 at least. Like,
he's
I mean, how much is left?
Redskins offense. I mean,
like, I mean, how much is left,
downgrade
really?
That's a huge downgrade from the Dolphins.
I don't mean it. Look, and I'll admit, when it comes to Daniel Jones, I'm biased. He's a Duke dude. I hate Duke. They're a bunch of privileged white boys. I can't stand Duke.
Oh, thank you. I hate Christian Leitner.
To be honest,
I can't stand Duke. I cannot stand Duke. But I will say this about Daniel Jones. Like, I will say that he was bad in 2020. He was just flat out bad.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was not for Carson Wentz's like what happened season, bro, Daniel Jones will be way more in the spotlight for how bad he played last year.
Oh my God.
But I will say this: he did get better in some very minute things down the course of the year, ball placement, stuff like that. You can argue that he started to kind of come around, but it wasn't showing up in production. That's the thing. So I mean, look, they spent a lot to put a lot around him. I'm going to be honest with you. I think they're going to be looking for a quarterback. That's just my take on it. And it's no disrespect to the Giants. I'm not trying to say that bias. I'm just saying, from someone who's coached and played that position, I don't believe in Daniel Jones. I just don't. I think that he's a bottom end starting quarterback. I do think he's top 32, but I don't think he's top 20. I don't buy it.
Yeah. So,
like, to me, it's like, Dak, is he healthy? If Dak's healthy, like, that's a really good offense in Dallas. There's no doubt about it. Past that, man, you got intrigue. You have intrigue and you have excitement around Hurts. And then you got a dude that should have retired probably a couple of years ago. And you got another guy that I'm not too sure he can actually play at a top 20 level at the quarterback position, in my opinion. That's kind of the way I see the quarterback.
Yeah, man, you really pretty much took the words out of my mouth. Jalen Hurts, again, if we're getting the New Orleans Saints, Arizona Cardinals, Jalen Hurts, you got a lot of promise. If you're getting that Dallas game, Jalen Hurts, you got things you got to work on, and you're going to be concerned. Now, again, I don't hold the greatest part so high because it was such a short sample size, and I don't hold the horrible part because it was a short sample size, and a lot of people will struggle with everything going on in Philadelphia. But as much as I want to crown him for the potential, I gotta keep in the back of my head that we saw some things rear its ugly head. Now, does that happen with rookies? Yes, it does. The way I look at Jalen, that's how I look at Jalen Hurts. When I look at Daniel Jones, I look at a guy who showed a little bit of promise his rookie season and then went down the drain. Like, he had a horrible season. If it wasn't for Carson Wentz totally flaming out, dude, and again, possibly due to circumstances, if you want to give Daniel Jones, his offensive line and his receivers, well, then Carson Wentz gets that and more.
Catch you later, Hunter.
Yeah.
So I look at it like, yeah, I can't put an unknown higher than other people, but I'm saying by the end of the season, I'm about to put money on the line that Hurts will have more touchdown passes than Daniel Jones. And in a sense, normally the one with the better touchdown passes normally is the better quarterback. That's not everything that goes into it, but that is a pretty big stat line. You know, more touchdowns, more points, more wins, blah, blah, blah. So it's really hard to rank the quarterbacks because the only one who's stable with their offense and production is Dak Prescott. Fitzmagic is good. Fitztragic is bad. Daniel Jones, rookie, was promising. Daniel Jones last year was bad. Jalen Hurts in 2 games, I loved it. 2 games, I was worried. So that's just me. But I'm gonna go with
Infamous, I gotta disagree, man, respectfully here, because
heavily
they didn't go through 14 separate line changes. Their wide receiver core and their skill position players in general were a lot better than ours. And even if you disagree with that and you say that no, these teams were on par, Well, at the end of the day, not even Carson Wentz didn't go games in a row without throwing touchdown passes.
Correct.
Only one quarterback in our division accomplished that feat, and he played in New York.
Games in a row without a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean,
look.
And they got a better
there's
receiver.
something going on there.
Yeah, like he needs to stop.
Yeah.
Out of
He needs
11
to stop.
starts,
Listen, when it comes to their offensive line, it's not good, but it was better than what we put out on the
Yeah.
field last year. When it comes to their coaches, their players played for their coach more than our players played for our coach. Hence, his coach is there, our coach is fired. When you look at receivers, all the receivers, their second receiver probably had more yards than the rest of our receivers, minus maybe Travis Fulgham. Tight end position, say what you want about Mr. Dropsy over there. He made the Pro Bowl, and we battled through Dallas Goedert injured, Zach Ertz injured, Dallas Goedert injured, Zach Ertz injured. And guess what? The Giants could held their hat on their defense, which was creeping up into the top 10. So they had a top 13-ish defense, and we lost our coordinator. And we're about to
I'll give him a hot take right now. Judge isn't the guy. He's going to be fired.
Oh, wow.
Their scheme is straight crap.
Oh, don't tell him that.
Listen,
Don't tell
this is
Giants fan that.
This is the hot.
You better find an offensive coordinator. He's going to be in the unemployment line.
This straight up facts. Out of 14 starts, this man threw 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and not even 3,000 passing yards. He went 7 games without throwing a touchdown.
7 games.
And on top of that, he did not have one game-winning drive. This man stinks.
I forgot about that.
He sucks.
Yeah.
That's how bad the Giants
Even
are.
Carson Wentz at his worst.
Yes.
Has he gone through a game without throwing a touchdown when he started?
No, he do a touchdown every. Well, not this. I don't know about that season. I know.
No, has he played a game without a touchdown? I mean, the times he started.
Oh, I'm not sure. I can't recall. But I know last year or the last.
Sure as hell wasn't 7.
Yeah.
But I just want to say this, and famous, when you look at all the positions and break it down, Daniel Jones had an upper echelon defense. He had an upper echelon defense. He had a better tandem at wide receiver because, I mean, we could say Jalen Reagor might be good this year. We could say Travis Fulgham might be good this year. But overall, our receivers, I mean, remember the year before that, Carson Wentz.
We're good.
4,000 yards without a 500-yard receiver. So, like I said, the Philadelphia, there's a reason why we're starting over because there was a lot of bad things on this team, and the Giants are feeling like they got everything minus the quarterback. That's what the Giants are feeling. If you hear Giant content creators are saying the offensive line didn't play that bad at the end of the season, the defense was an upper echelon. They believe in Joe Judge, even though Gate City clearly doesn't. And they just upgraded the wide receiver core, and they're getting Saquon Barkley back. So they feel they have everything minus the quarterback. And Gates says they have everything minus the coach and quarterback, which is very important.
No, they secondary is nasty, man. I can't front any.
The Giants, right?
Yes, they secondary.
So look,
Yeah.
Mike, to put this in perspective, guys, Carson Wentz has seven games in his entire career where he didn't throw a touchdown pass, and 5 of them were in his rookie season.
Right. And 2 of
They're
them
going to be searching for a new coach and quarterback. I'm just going to tell y'all straightforward. They're searching for a new coach and quarterback very soon. It may not be this upcoming year. It's going to be soon.
Was 2 of them last year?
I'm sorry, man. I know Joe Judge isn't. I know Joe Judge is not their. He's not their offensive coordinator. Jason Garrett needs to go too, man. Like I don't believe in their scheme. I think their scheme is the problem.
Jason Garrett, Jason Garrett, good. I like Jason Garrett. I don't know.
Well,
I heard Ben McAdoo has signed with the Cowboys.
I heard that too.
Who was that? The dude with the mustache?
That mustache and that hairstyle. He was the head coach prior to Joe Judge.
You know the crazy thing is the Eagles top 2 choices before we got stuck with Doug Peterson. And I say stuck not because I was mad, but that's what happened. Like we were looking at everybody but Doug Peterson. He got us a Super Bowl. But you know the top 2 candidates the Eagles really wanted was Bug-Eye Adam Gase and mustache Ben McAdoo. Could you imagine if one of them were?
What about that dude from New England, Josh
McDaniels?
No, I'm not talking about after Doug. I'm talking about
before Doug. Okay,
we were going to hire Doug. Adam Gase went to the Jets, and Ben McAdoo went to the Giants.
Yeah.
We would have been
Hey,
really
hey, Mike,
bad.
hang on.
Really
Infamous. Infamous. You don't get to cry wolf, man. What you're doing right here is crying wolf. Stop. You brought the conversation to the Giants into the Eagles by doing that. So then you can't turn around like, come on, bro. I'm too smart for that, bro.
We do.
No. So let me just say this about
you can go to freaking Cop Hizzle channel with that. He'll listen to you crying wolf anytime.
No,
Maybe
this is
not.
what I'm saying.
That was funny as hell.
He's pretty much saying because listen, what he's trying to say is that Giant fans, and he's not a Giants fan, he's an Eagle fan, but he's still sticking up for Carson Wentz. He's sticking up for Carson Wentz.
Oh, is he the Eagles fan?
Yeah. Carson Wentz. Look, Carson Wentz struggled due to him maybe regressing a little bit, but he also struggled due to the stuff around him. And so as we say that Carson Wentz might be better in Indianapolis, if Daniel Jones is a good quarterback, then there should be no reasons why he doesn't succeed in 2021, and we'll find out in the next episode
Exactly.
of Dragon Ball.
Infamous.
Eagles
You're
fan or
crying
Wentz
wolf.
fan?
You're crying wolf because you're trying to tell other people to stop saying Eagles this and Eagles that when you introduce the comparison, fool. Nobody else. You
Is he an
introduced the
Eagles
comparison.
fan or a Wentz
And
fan?
and then when we
I'm
bring
so
up the
confused.
comparison and you
He's
can't
an Eagle
refute
fan.
the information, then you're doing that, dude. Stop. You're bringing it on yourself. Nobody
Infamous.
else is. You can't introduce the comparison and then when someone breaks it down for you, then say, well, you're saying Eagles this and Eagles that. Then clarify your question better.
Where do you
He's a
rate
Giants fan.
Daniel
My
Jones
bad.
in the NFL? Infamous, real quick before where do you rate Daniel Jones in the NFL?
Yeah. He got to be at the bottom 20.
That's just my
that?
next question was where do you guys rate Hurts in the NFL? Because obviously it's not 31.
He's not 30. Yeah,
He's definitely not 30.
I had him
I'd probably put him in the
26.
maybe 20s.
26.
I think in the 20s by default. I'm sorry. I
say
can't
for
put
now,
rookies
I'm gonna
that
say about
high.
the 20s.
Yeah.
I
31 was
can't.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that didn't make no
Trevor
sense.
Lawrence and those guys high.
The fact that you had Daniel Jones
Yeah, I
around
don't-
was difficult.
In
Yeah.
front of Carson
I don't-
Wentz.
I don't put-
that,
I don't put weight.
I died.
Yeah, I don't put weight in the preseason rankings.
They put
To me,
Daniel
it's
Jones
ridiculous
up.
to rate him in the preseason.
He will surprise a lot of people. So probably got top 15.
Yeah, he's gonna surprise a lot of people because he's gonna be unemployed.
But see, no, what he's doing is he's using the same thing. He's saying we saw Carson Wentz stink because he's a product of what we put around him. So Carson Wentz with what the Indianapolis Colts got should be better. But I think Carson Wentz, when we had better stuff around him, proved. I can't just say that because Daniel Jones getting upgrades around him, he's going to be better because even his rookie, I didn't see enough to say, wow, give this guy some weapons and he can do it. Because listen, weapons don't stop you from fumbling. Weapons don't stop you from throwing picks if you're not reading coverages. So listen, he is set up. Daniel Jones is set up with Galladay, Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, a healthy O-line, a top 4 running back in the NFL, a top 10 defense. He's set up with the no
He got
excuse
the
ability.
pieces.
It's
Yeah,
either
he has no
you
excuse.
either do it or not.
No excuse. That's the same thing for Carson. If Carson don't succeed now, it's
If
over.
Carson can't play,
Yeah, it's over.
He went
He's
to
over,
straight
man.
jail.
Listen,
Oh.
just played good enough to get us the first round pick.
Just
I
played
think he got
good
to play
enough.
75% of the snaps. So I think even if he played bad, I
So
think
would
we
it
get the-
matter? But would it matter if he end up how do you say it?
the compensation?
compensatory pick.
Would it matter if he was competitive, like won them the division or not? Would that matter? Or does it just have to be 75 snaps?
Just 75%.
I know
75%
75%
Gotta
or
be,
it's
yeah.
playoffs or something.
Or
It's
playoffs.
something like that. Or
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah, but I think they're
I don't
gonna
know
be
if he's
good.
getting past
Yeah,
the
if he
Titans.
plays,
but
Have
yeah.
26. Yeah, it's gonna be a late pick.
I still think the Eagles negotiated that wrong. I still think
Yeah.
that was a really bad negotiation. Just because, to me, if you really break it down, if you don't have a major injury, but you have an injury that's big enough to sideline you for 4 or 5 games, then you're in jeopardy of losing that first round pick. For me, I would have been like, yo, if y'all make the playoffs, it's 50% of snaps. Like straightforward, guys. It's either 75% of snaps, or if y'all make the playoffs and he play 50% of snaps, we get a first round pick. Because I just think that they played a little bit, but I think they got desperate. because I think they needed to move him. So they knew that they conditioned the picks to really favor Indianapolis. If anything happens, like imagine if he misses 4 games because of injury, Indianapolis is already basically going to clinch, and then they sitting week. I guess it would be week 18 now.
Yeah, but they gotta be some fine print. They gotta be some fine print. And you pull them out, you know what I mean? How he rolls me.
But to me, that pick don't really matter as much because I feel like no matter what, not no matter what, but it all depends on Carson. I feel like Indianapolis is gonna be great or good. So I think it's gonna be like a late, like 25-ish, 24th, like you one of those late 20-round, picks. So I don't really think even if he does play 75%, only way I would be really happy is if they really stink and something like that, and they and then they get like a number 5 or something. So
the Colts barely got in last year. They barely got in. I think they needed the Dolphins to lose.
They had Phillip Rivers last year.
Who's going to be the reason why we get a top 10 pick? You heard it here first.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers last year though, bro. Phillip Rivers is he aged. It's like wine.
Nah, I just said that because I know Alkabeer, the analyst. I saw him make a couple Tua videos, and I know he's high on them.
Yeah, because I think the Dolphins gonna get in. I almost think the whole AFC East probably gonna get in. Like the Dolphins, probably the Patriots, and the Bills.
Not the Jets.
I think those 3 teams can possibly get in. Then you got the AFC North, who I think is the toughest division, and the Steelers, the Browns, and the Ravens. It's like, dude, that's 6 teams, right? I didn't even say the Chiefs yet. I didn't even get into the AFC West.
Yeah, facts.
Like, then Justin Herbert gonna take another step up. The AFC is tough, man.
Lamar can't throw pigskin, man. We fine, bro. I don't care about the Ravens, man. Lamar can throw the ball, dog. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Infamous. I understand your comparison. Our point is you introduced the comparison. And then when we broke down why that comparison was nonsense, you immediately went into some nonsense. That's what we're trying to point out to you, man. You went into some straight nonsense when we pointed out why that's flawed. You want to talk about supporting cast. What did Carson Wentz win the NFC East with in 2019? I don't want to hear about Daniel Jones. He had plenty to win the NFC East last year and couldn't do it.
Well, to be fair, it's our fault. We didn't.
Lamar cannot throw the ball. I've seen Tennessee make him throw the ball and he lost the ball. Stop it.
Doug tanked on us.
I can't wait for football season.
Dude. All right. Last question, then we can call it a wrap.
Yeah, 2 hours, bro. I haven't done it in a minute.
All right. All right. Last one. I've been dying here. My friend wanted me to ask some of you this. Willie Henry. He thinks he.
Infamous. If you're a Colts fan, look, Infamous.
Wait, who?
Infamous. If you're a Colts fan, look, Infamous. If you're a Colts fan, then that's on you, bro. Like, I'm not gonna tell you who to be a fan of. Like, that's your own personal business. I personally I care. I don't care who you're a fan of when you come to my channel. It is what it is. Like, I welcome my channel to everybody. But I can tell you, me personally, I put the brand above any player.
Facts. Thank you.
That is true.
Facts. Facts.
We can land it on that.
I'm rocking with the Eagles, man.
All day.
So am I, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I'm what hurts now, cuz.
It offends me at this point when I was being called a Wentz apologist. It offends me. I never left the brand.
Wait, what I do?
No, I said it offends me when people try to call me a Wentz apologist.
Yeah.
During the last season. I mean, I'm not the one who quit on the team and became a fan of the Colts or bought his jerseys and everything. When he got traded, I was still here rocking this brand. I was like, look, good luck to Carson Wentz, but F him after the next season.
Yeah, man.
Shoot.
I wasn't always on Hurts band.
I even debated on getting rid of his jerseys.
Yeah, Mike, no, man. Like, my videos, I was never always on Hurts bandwagon, bro. I didn't see nothing in them. But now I think Devontae Smith just made him that much better. And plus, I'm an Eagles fan, so you know what I'm saying? You live and die with the bird. Nothing else, man.
All right.
Listen, I know you're an Eagle fan, but it's hard to look at the
comments. It's hard to look at these comments.
It's hard to look at the comments, and the fact you got Carson Wentz in the Colts as your default. I mean, I'm sorry, but look, good luck Carson Wentz, but that couldn't be me.
Infamous. With all due respect, man, you're playing semantics, man.
He said Howie's incompetent. I mean, that is true though.
That is.
Really not
That
that.
All right. You know what?
Look, Infamous. Infamous. I'm not blaming you for leaving. You make your own choice. You're your own person, bro. I'm not faulting you for that. I'm just telling you that I'm not leaving based upon a single player, man. Like, I've been an Eagles fan my entire life.
Mhm.
It's always
Players
been brand
come and
over
go.
any player. I've watched a lot of guys come and go.
Yeah.
Like the one that still hurt me is Brian Dawkins. Like I was looking at the
Dog.
Broncos a little bit. I'm like,
Oh
When
man,
he
I'm
came
still
out of
in.
that tunnel with Broncos gear, I shed a tear. I ain't gonna lie to you. I shed a tear. It hurt. I was
I was
crushed.
cool for that one, man.
That
I
one
remember.
still hurt.
I shed a
Mine
tear.
was Troy Vincent when he left.
Where you go?
No, I mean when he just left the league and retired.
Oh no, man. Mine was
Now
DJ.
it's like the head thing of NFL. It's like
He went to Washington and he kicked the ball on us, so that was horrible, man. That
I'm
was-
curious how old Infamous is though, because I feel like it also
No, he's
depends. Like,
He's in high school. He's in
He's
high
your
school. He
age?
plays wide receiver
He's like 18. He's not that.
or corner.
well, that
Wide
yeah,
receiver or
well,
corner.
Yeah.
Versus school.
see that's a big difference right there. No offense to the to homie Byshir, but you know, kids that has been around like as long as us. I mean, you know, people from Philly, we don't do that shit. We don't ever switch brands. We was representing even when we were trash. We was repping hard.
Yeah. Thanks, bro.
Like
yeah.
we never left.
Yeah.
When
Facts.
the-
My dad didn't
we
leave from
never
Reggie
left.
White. He ain't leaving now. Facts, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My friend.
Yeah, I
back
mean,
in
I don't know. Infamous, like I said, man. Infamous, it's on you, bro. I mean, you
Yeah.
choose your fan base, man. I mean, I'm not a big fan of people that hop on and hop off. Like that's not being a fan. That's called being a front runner, bro.
Facts.
But I mean,
stay over there when the Eagles play good.
right.
Stay over there, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. You from? Come on, bro. You from Philly? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
You should know better. Come on.
All right.
Come
Yeah, that's a
on, bro.
You know
front runner,
what?
man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right.
You know what? Because he's young, and again,
That's
I
the
couldn't
Zach
do it. I couldn't,
say, man.
I couldn't do it. But this is where it all came from, because he's a guy that every single call-in stream I used to do and say with Philly Notion and Philly the podcast, he gets in there, and his knowledge of the game is there.
Yeah.
And he is he's big on that Carson Wentz will be great in Indy, and we ruined him, and he's riding on that. He's never really been a
Wentz
Hurts
apologies
hater.
at his finest,
He's just a guy who says that we should have never got rid of Carson Wentz. He's the dude. And so I think him being young, he says, watch, I'm gonna prove a fact. And he went a little bit to the extreme. I can keep a, you know what I mean? I can look over there without going over there.
Yeah.
Without going. But guess what? Because guess what? When the Eagles don't play, guess what I do? I got the NFL ticket. When the Eagles ain't playing, I'm still watching football on Sundays. If the Colts play Monday night, I'm not going to be like, I can't look at it. I'm going to watch.
Yeah,
But
I got red zone.
I'm not going to pick that over an Eagles game, because at the end of the day, listen, you know, you watch your Eagles game, it's over at 1 o'clock. What are you doing? Oh, I'm going to watch the 4 o'clock game. I'm going to watch the night game. You know what I
You
mean?
can watch
Yeah, exactly.
Right, exactly. Especially when we lose, you want to see Dallas lose so bad. So there's always
Like, yeah, it's time to watch these division games and see if
Yeah,
they're
bro,
gonna
yeah.
lose.
I didn't hear your words on this. I heard Mike's words, and I've known Mike for a long time. He's one of the first people I met when I was doing YouTube. But I mean, I don't know where your take is on this, because you haven't said it. But judging from what Mike said, if you view, and I don't know if you do, but if you view Carson as blameless in the situation, and you're talking to someone who's a huge Carson supporter, and myself, you're wrong.
Here.
Wrong.
Same here.
His footwork was highly flawed. He did not put the time and effort in the offseason to fix his fundamentals correctly. And I know he had an excuse with the baby girl and everything, but there are a lot of dudes in the league with kids, to be fair.
All right.
There's a lot
I'm
of
really
dudes in the
done
league.
with
Philip
this.
Rivers had what? 9,
20.
10 kids more than that. 8 kids.
Yeah.
Come on.
There were issues with his mechanics. There were things that were in his control to control he didn't fix. That doesn't mean that I don't think he's not going to be good in Indianapolis. I do think Carson Wentz will bounce back. I do think he'll be good in Indianapolis. But I'm not a Carson fan anymore, man. Like, my
I'm not
relationship
either,
with Carson
Mhm.
ended when he left Philadelphia.
And the way he left at that.
yeah, the way he left. Yeah, that's
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I couldn't defend that.
Yeah, I mean, I still got my.
couldn't defend that.
I'm not burning that thing. We tripping. I paid too much money for it.
Yeah, so he said he's not
That's
blaming.
why I'm not going to burn it. I ain't going to give it away
All right.
for free. I'm selling this still. I mean, infamous. I got 2 jerseys for if you want it. I got them.
Yeah, I got the white.
150, 200. They yours. It seems like you want the jersey, so I ain't keeping no cow. Ain't no coward. Ain't gonna be no cowards in my collection. I'm sorry. Ain't no cowards in my collection.
Have a driveway with all due respect. Phil Rivers a head coach now for high school, man. He living his best life, dog.
Yeah,
Phillip Rivers needs to become the head coach.
Phillip Rivers can't even pull out of a driveway.
What
Imagine
college?
him on South support. That would suck. That would suck.
He needs to come home, bro. He needs to come home. He needs to come home to NC State. For real. He's not really from North Carolina. He's from Alabama, but he played at State. So we're gonna claim him.
Wait, where did Zayvon Collins go? He went to Washington, right? Zayvon Collins.
Oh, he went to the Cardinals, I think.
Cardinals. Yeah, he went to Cardinals. Yeah.
All right.
All right, wrap it up.
I'm dying.
Brothers, it was good being in the stream with you guys. It was good.
Oh, another comment coming.
Yeah. I'm so confused. If it's a Giants fan, Eagles fan, I'm so confused right now.
He's a Carson. He's a Carson
Wentz fan
Carson
from Philly.
Yeah, Carson.
We say y'all should come to home game though. We say y'all should come to a home game. I mean, if it can happen this year for sure, hell yeah, I might go to the Bucks one. I might try to go to the Bucks.
I'm not going in.
I can't
Maybe
do the Bucks
later
one.
on.
That Thursday night game.
Yeah, I'm not trying
You know
to
what?
go.
That is a Thursday night, so that is tough for me though.
Yeah.
You're funny, Jim.
All right. Yo, I want to say thank you to everyone in the stream, in the chat. Very successful in my eyes. Infamous, thank you for your hot takes, I guess. But whatever that is.
Infamous Wentz.
Yeah.
Wentz from his.
Wentz.
I'm talking about my high school. Yeah, we can catch Eagles in too. Okay.
Now he's a corner for a school in Philly. I forgot. He told me what it was, but
It's St. Louis Prep. I think that's
there
what
you
it
go.
is.
St. Louis Prep.
Yeah.
There you go.
St.
Go
Joe's.
ahead, go scout him, Byshir. See how good he is.
Yeah, St. Joe's. Yeah, man. My dude definitely got it, man.
You got it?
Yeah.
You know, I respect
St.
that.
I know is by
Did I agree with your
Baltimore,
take?
City line,
No,
whatever.
but all right, guys. I want to say thank you to everybody. Fun stream. Hopefully, we can all do this again soon, right before the season starts. Maybe. All right, guys. I'll catch you all later.
Thank you, dog. Safe.
Fly Eagles fly.
Later, man.
Yeah.